Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finale weekend of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers racing season. My name is Zach Herring, excited to be bringing you all of the racing action this weekend at the first and oldest purpose-built road racing circuit in the country, Willow Springs International Motorsports Park here in California. No better location to close out an amazing season of BRL racing. If you're just joining us here at BRL, let's set the stage for you a little bit. The big talking points coming into the weekend: Ruben Zaus in that Bagger GP class has been on fire, unstoppable, but he's got some company this weekend that he has not faced so far this year. We've got previous champion Shane Narbonne as well as Corey West here to try to throw their name into the ring and try to knock Ruben off that top step of the podium. Then we drop down to our Pro Stock class where Cody Gilmore is trying to put an exclamation point on his season and wrap up that championship. And then, of course, we got to talk about Jake Masters in the Super Street class as well, really coming into his own throughout the 2024 season, trying to close things out, holding up a number one plate. We've got some new races, some new faces, and all of the racing action that you've come to know and love here from BRL. Let's throw things to the second member of our broadcast team, a person who not only has experience in the booth, but out on the courses as well, Tony Tucker. Tony, how you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. In addition to all the excitement surrounding our Bagger GP class, we got championships to hand out in our Pro Stock Bagger class, also our Super Street Bagger class. We got Cody Gilmore, Arnie Wells leading the pack in the Pro Stock class. We got Jake Masters, Carl Schlock leading the pack in our super competitive Super Street Bagger class this weekend. Championships to hand out in both. In addition to all that, we've also got sidecars. We've got vintage motorcycles out here. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Green Flag Racing. Today's broadcast is dedicated to our longtime friend and huge supporter of the BRL, Darl Basani.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the finale weekend of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. You heard from there in our opener, we've got some new faces and some new classes as well. Well, we're going to start things off with one of those new classes with our Barnett Clutches Sidecar race. I am so excited to see this. I've watched sidecars for a long time on social media, seen them on the internet, but to be able to see them in person here and to have them as a part of the Bagger Racing League and the BRL community, I could not be more excited about it. Tony, this is going to be some epic racing without a doubt.
It definitely is, and we're a little bit new to this, so we're going to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Larry Coleman. Larry, you're an accomplished sidecar racer here. We're going to really lean on your knowledge. Tell us what we're seeing out here.
Well, we're seeing one heck of a good start with some of the best in the business in sidecar racing across the USA. We've got 7 of the Sidecar West outfits on the racetrack. It looks like the whole shot was Kelly Bell, and followed by Bernard Ugly. Bernard Ugly and Kevin Kautsky, ARMA champions, multiple champions here in the United States, as they go through turn 3 and work their way up into turn 2 and work their way up into turn 3. Third place would be Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer. Also champions, Speedway sidecar racers as well. These guys eat, live, and breathe sidecars. And there goes Bernard Euclid now making his move early on this first lap with Kelly Bell hot on his heels, and Wade Boyd, and then Frank Riolo. Riolo, with a 13-year absence in sidecar racing, just imported this new outfit in from Belgium, and state of the art.
So I'm curious, Larry, give us a little rundown, like what's underneath these sidecars? What kind of engines, what kind of chassis, what's underneath that shell?
We've got Formula 1 and Formula 2 on the racetrack. Formula 1 are the long chassis, rear engine. The front running outfits are monocoque chassis, similar to a Formula 1 car build, with the engine and the suspension and all of the wheel and everything hung onto the monocoque tub. Engines, 1,000cc are allowed here in the United States. Most of these bikes, either Formula 1 or Formula 2, are running 1,000cc. Suzuki is the engine of choice, although we see an occasional Kawasaki here and there. But Suzuki 1000s are the engine of choice. Your current second place bike is a Yamaha. That's a current R1. It's got a very distinct sound because it's the Big Bang R1.
Big leader bike.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And the tires are very specific to sidecar racing. Hoosier is now the supplier of tires for the world for sidecar racing, an American company, and they make sidecar-specific tires, different compounds for each corner. So we're not quite as sophisticated here in the United States as they are in Europe, but we're getting there.
Okay.
It's a growing sport. Most of our sidecar outfits that are on the racetrack today, except for a few, are hand-me-downs from Europe. They come over from Europe and so, probably the newest outfit on the racetrack is a 2014 Bernard Euclid, who's leading the race at the moment, built his own outfit. That's a beautiful piece of engineering, Formula 1. We're also seeing Formula 2, the shorter outfits, engine more in more of a conventional motorcycle's position underneath the driver. One of the machines on the racetrack, the number 84, Bill Becker from Becker Motorworks here in Apple Valley, California, builds these sidecars and works on the sidecars. So if you're interested in getting a sport, there is a local builder and some expertise. Kelly Bell retaking the lead. This is a great race going on for first and second place.
Explain to me that. He kind of really took the outside line there. Is that a horsepower advantage there?
Horsepower and handling. Teamwork is the key to sidecar racing. Passenger, driver. That passenger can lose and or win the race just as much as the guy with the throttle. It's truly teamwork. The team of Ugly Kautsky that are currently in second place, a very polished team, been racing together a long time. They've got their teamwork down. Kelly Bell in first, who's currently in second place. He's got a new passenger this weekend, but that teamwork is crucial to getting that sidecar, and that's one of the aspects that interests us. Myself, I speak for myself, that really interested me in the beginning with sidecar racing is the teamwork involved. Mm-hmm. It takes a team to make it happen.
Now, Larry, question for you. As far as you emphasize how important teamwork is, let's just take Yuko and Kautsky. You said these are an experienced group. They've worked together for quite a while. How do you come to learn your role as far as, do you want to be the person, the passenger, as you said, or be the driver? How do these riders kind of fit into those roles and figure out what works best for them?
Usually the driver is a person who maybe even has been a solo rider in the first, or perhaps a passenger. In my case, I was a passenger before I became a driver, and I think I was a better driver because of it, because I knew what to expect from a sidecar. So it's there's an art to both positions. Usually the driver is the owner of the bike. Sometimes it's a family affair. Very common to see husband and wife become a sidecar team and go racing. Very, very common to see boyfriend, girlfriend kind of a thing. So it's the passenger is, a lot of people look at the passengers, maybe I'd like to try that. This is something I'd like to, but as opposed to owning the bike and driving the bike, let's just give the passenger thing a try. And a lot of passengers will make the transition to drivers.
Now, taking a look at on your screen as they come barreling down that front stretch, you talked about, I believe you said it was 1,000 cc horsepower that these riders are looking at. It looks like when we had one possibly pull off, problems for one of those teams. But as far as just the size of the pilots, the drivers, the passengers, got to think that you're not going to have a ton of huge people being that passenger moving back and forth, or do you want maybe a little extra weight to help plant the machine in these corners and help get you a drive out of the corner? It's
extremely critical to have that passenger in the right place at the right time. And these Formula One bikes, as I described with the monocoque tub, trick A-arm suspension. I mean, they're really an interesting piece of engineering, and they're infinitely adjustable. Your caster, your camber, your suspension. So when these are set up right, they're very unforgiving machines, and it's extremely important that that passenger be in the right place at the right time. Like I said, he can win or lose the race just as much as the guy with the throttle.
So taking a look now, the battle is on. I believe that is still Yuko and Kowski out front, but like you said, I've seen a little bit of a yo-yo back and forth. It looked like they were starting to break away, but now second place starting to chase them down.
Second place is Frank Riolo. That's like I said, he's had a 13-year of hiatus until in the last couple of years he brought this bike in. This is a state-of-the-art machine. As you would see in FIM Formula One sidecar racing in Europe, the World Championship was just decided last weekend. But that second-place bike that Riolo was on is a very sophisticated machine, and we're seeing more and more of that finally come into the U.S. as the sport is gaining some traction.
Yeah, Riolo really looking impressive right now as he continues to slowly close the gap back up. It does seem like we've got a little bit of a yoke between Yuko and Riolo, but how much of this is the machine as far as just horsepower and the ability to get the power to the ground versus the team themselves, the driver and the passenger? What would you say is going to make the biggest difference? Obviously, all of these machines extremely competitive, but right now it looks like both these teams executing to perfection in each one of their roles.
Exactly right, and I think that in this case it's going to be teamwork. It's going to be Ugly and Kowski. Both these machines are pretty equal in terms of setup and in terms of horsepower. Both 1,000cc machines, very capable, but I think, in my opinion, it would be the teamwork, as Ugly and Kowski know this racetrack very well and have won a lot of races here, and I think that is going to give them the upper hand.
I'm curious.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I'm just curious, kind of watching these guys. Do they kind of follow the traditional race lines of a two-wheeler, or do they find that there's a better path with three wheels around these racetracks?
It's a little bit of a different line. It's a little bit. I mean, you still want to apex the turn. There's no difference there. But bear in mind what the passenger is doing. Think about it this way. As a solo bike, you lean into the turn to counteract a centrifugal force trying to pull you to the outside. Well, you can't do that with a sidecar, obviously, because there's a platform over there. So you've got the passenger who is putting his weight to the inside of the turn. So that's going to have a little bit of an effect, and they're wider. So it's a little bit of a different line than the solo, but the apexing the turn is still the goal.
Sure. So do you feel as though they might maybe hug the inside of the corners a little bit more than a two-wheeler?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Right. And it depends on the race course, and it depends on how the bike is set up and how the team is working together. A lot more variables with the three-wheelers.
Okay.
You talked a little bit about the fighting the centrifugal force and how much of that falls on the passenger. The pilot themselves, the driver, are they able to move at all as far as fluctuating their weight to the side? Is there any wiggle room in the cockpit there?
In these current outfits, the Formula One, Formula 2, a little more on the Formula 2, but Formula One, and in the newer Formula 2, these pilots are pretty much secured in the bike. They can't move their weight. In the old days, when I got started, if I may date myself, yes, the fairings were more open and the driver was able to lean back and forth, but not in these new machines. In the new configurations, it's up to the passenger his job is to provide that weight transfer. And now we're coming up on some slower traffic. Nice move.
Yeah.
Nice move. And Bernard Euclid is a very experienced automobile racer as well. He races classic cars. He works for Jay Leno, so he has the opportunity to race a lot of cars. So he's a very experienced race driver.
Bernard putting that experience to good use right now, because look at this. It does look like he's stretched that lead back out. Made a impressive pass with those lap traffic. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you feel like, driving or riding these sidecars, is it more similar to riding a two-wheeler or racing a car?
It's more similar to racing a car.
Okay.
It really is because the tires. They look like car tires. They essentially are, except they're stiffer sidewall. A lot of traction. No, it's, I think, really more closer to a car.
Okay.
There's some gray area in there, and that's kind of where the sidecar fits.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's right there in between. It's got 3 wheels instead of 4 or 2, right? So
Right.
that makes sense.
Exactly.
Now, this may seem like an elementary question here for you, but why is the sidecar off to the left-hand side? Has there ever been one that the third wheel is off to the right? What kind of led to that format, if you will, of the sidecar design?
Frequently asked question. You'll see most of the sidecars, in fact, I think they're all left-handed sidecars. In the old days, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when sidecars were when on a world level, you'd see the continent being Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands. The sidecars out of there would come with a right-handed chair because they drove on the right side. All of the UK outfits would come with a left-handed sidecar for the same reason. They drive on the opposite side. But the way the sport has evolved with manufacturers building sidecars and with plexiglass or fiberglass and fairings all kind of evolving to the left side, especially when Lewis Christian Racing in Switzerland started building Formula One sidecars, all left sidecars, it just evolved into left-handed. Even though you'll find the right-handers occasionally, especially in vintage. Checkered flag, as Ugly and Kautsky take that checkered flag.
So an impressive performance there from Bernard Euclid and Kevin Kautsky, grabbing the first win of our finale weekend and the first win of our sidecar class here in Bagger Racing League. And that was some close racing, Tony. We've seen some breakaways throughout the season, but man, those first couple of laps, it was anybody's guess. They were going back and forth.
Yeah, we had a couple of battles there mid-pack, but it looked like Bernard was able to just kind of march forward and bring home the win.
Looking forward to seeing this again tomorrow at noon, same time, same station, absolutely.
Same place.
We're going to take a look here at the replay and look at the start. I believe that was, you said Kelly Bell grabbing the early race lead, but Euclid maybe not first to the first turn, but it didn't take long for him to be able to make some quick moves. Honestly, very impressed to see with the maneuverability of these machines, whether it's getting around competition or making your way around lap traffic as well. Like Larry was saying, these are some of the best in the entire country, and they're putting that experience to good use right now as Euclid, pulling away, but this was the battle right here. Look at the drive down that front straight, getting the power to the ground. And Larry, you can touch on this as well. When the riders are really wide open like that, you kind of see the passenger ducking down, trying to keep the aerodynamics as fast as possible. Absolutely.
Very important, especially down the front straightaways, to have that driver and that passenger tuck in. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps, including the aerodynamics. It's very important that the passenger get tucked in.
So this was the battle. We weren't quite sure whether or not this was going to come back together and maybe have a true dogfight on our hands for the lead, but slowly but surely, here it is. We did have a pass remade, and then Euclid right there up the inside. A beautiful pass set up well before he got to the corner, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Slowly started to pull away, and the next thing they knew, they were looking at a checkered flag here for the first race of our finale weekend. Bernard Euclid and Kevin Kautsky grabbing that sidecar win. So we're going to get our track set for our next race. I believe that's going to be our Super Street and Pro Stock classes, but let's give you a rundown. So we've got Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer that it's showing at the top of the list, with William Becker and Larry Campbell, and saying that is Yukel and Kowski. They're in the third place spot. So possibly, actually, Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer grabbing the win.
Well, I'm not exactly sure where that came from, because we saw Euclid clearly the leader with the Formula One bike. So, we'll get that sorted out.
Yeah, possibly just a mix-up on the
right.
transponders as well. So, but okay, did want to confirm that as well. So that was Yukel that grabbed the win, and
correct.
I want to make sure we give the proper credit where it is due, and he definitely earned that because, well, I guess they earned that. Like you were talking about, Larry, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely.
So an impressive performance. And Tony, this is the kind of excitement that we've been talking about for Bagger Racing League. We've been talking all season long. A lot of these fans and families that come out to check this out, they realize, hey, I maybe have a motorcycle that I can bring from my garage to the track. But it's not only just Harleys, just baggers, but we've got some unique racing as well. We've got our metric classes, now introducing sidecar racing as well.
Yeah, a lot of fun. The next class up is our Pro Stock Bagger class, and also our Super Street class. The Super Street class is that class that, you can come out and race with us. So, yeah, we'll catch a quick commercial break. We'll be back here with more Green Flag Racing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Willow Springs International Raceway here in Rosamond, California for the finale weekend of the Bagger Racing League. This is round 5 of 6. We'll be doing battle all over again tomorrow. But right now, coming up next, we've got our Super Street Bagger and Pro Stock classes coming up. And, man, we've got some heavy hitters in this. Tony Salima, we've got Daniel Spina, and another rider that I've been excited to see out there is Arnie Wells. Believe we were actually able to catch up with Arnie earlier this weekend.
All right, we're here with Arnie Wells of the Suburban Motors team, running in the Pro Stock Bagger class. Arnie, tell us about how the bagger's feeling first off.
So I got the bagger out towards the end of the day, and it's feeling really good. I just started riding like a little sissy towards the end. It's really cold, and I wasn't very happy with my performance in practice. So.
Well, and you're also riding 3 different bikes here this weekend. You're running the bagger, you got a KTM sport bike, and you're also running a newly built Goldwing. How's the challenge been, going from one bike to the next? Has that been easy, or has it been beneficial, or is it kind of hard?
So I think like the Duke and the Baggers there's a lot of similarities there. The Goldwing's completely different, so that's been a challenge for sure. There's not much clearance. I did lift it quite a bit, but the suspension's not completely dialed or anything, so it's just we'll get out there and see.
What's the story and what's the inspiration behind the Goldwing? Like, what were you thinking?
So Rob made a class, and no one's done it yet, and I've just had the Goldwing sitting in my garage for about 3 years, maybe 4 years, so I was like, what the heck, I might as well just go do it.
Right on. Well, you were out there today on it. It's killer looking. I mean, it's a beautiful bike, and it's quiet. It looked a little, unsafe, if you will, in the handling department, but it's cool to see you out there. Thanks for your time, and we'll look for you in the Pro Stock Bagger class.
Sweet. Thank you, guys.
So how about that, guys? When we say you can take a machine straight from the garage to the racetrack, Arnie Wells, living proof of that. I can't wait to see him out there on the Goldwing. But this guy is a warrior no matter what machine you put underneath him. Another person that is a warrior and a warrior that we are very glad to have back with us for Bagger Racing League. Not just, he did have a little guest appearance in the booth, but we like him out on the track. We got Clay Braun back racing with us.
All right, we're here with Clay Braun, young blood Clay, they call him. The most charismatic guy in the pits. Clay, you guys got a new program. Tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on with the team.
So it's Frankie Dean Racing, collaborated with Youngblood Crew, and we're just raising awareness for FDR Foundation, people that go down with catastrophic motorcycle injuries. So the best thing that we can do is promote people to come to the track and have fun, but also we're spreading the good word of, people going down, and we actually can help out in the sense, So it's nothing but good stuff, and we've been able to bring on Tony Salimas and myself, in Pro Stock. So hopefully we can shake some stuff up.
Yeah, how's the track feeling? How are you feeling out here this weekend?
It's a little windy. Track's cold. It's like 1 o'clock right now, so the track's good, but it's still windy. I feel good. All my hands are working. My plates, hurt a little bit, but I can't complain. And tomorrow we're going to drop a couple seconds during the race pace.
Yeah, it's great to see you back out here. I know you had a big injury yourself, so it's really good to see you out here on the grid, getting back after it. Enjoy seeing you out there. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, dog. Hey, I just want to say shout out to Tony, dude, for this grip right here. If you want to little zoom in on that, just want to say thank you. It's been on there all year long, so whatever happens tomorrow, thank you, Tony.
That's my little piece of it.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, not just in sidecar racing. Tony and Youngblood helping each other out. And we're so excited to have Youngblood Clay back out with us. The guy is just a picture of optimism. Always got a smile on his face, always having a good time interacting with the fans. But he is a racer at heart, and so I'm very excited to be able to see him do some battle coming up next. But he's got some company. We got a lot of great names. Another rider that we were able to catch up with a little bit earlier this weekend was Gunnar Ouellette on the 286 machine.
All right, we're here with Gunnar Ouellette, Trask 286. Gunnar, you guys have been on a little bit of a break this year. It's good to see you back out here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Went out in first practice and got to shake the cobwebs off and everything. And I love this track. Willow Springs is a nice, fast, smooth track, so hopefully I can keep the consistency and do good this weekend.
Like I said, you haven't been out here with the BRL. Have you had any track time this summer, or are you just fresh on the motorcycle?
I'm pretty fresh on the motorcycle. I did a little bit of supermoto this year and a little bit of motocross, but that's really it, not much. So we're just coming back out here and shaking the cobwebs off and sending it.
How has getting back on the bagger, coming off like a supermoto bike or a motocross bike, been? How's that transition?
Pretty good. A lot heavier than it's usually supposed to be, but just trying to get the hang of leaning off and controlling it differently, and the power difference is insane. So I'm trying to get used to it, and we're about there.
What with the break and everything, what's your expectations on the weekend?
Just have fun and hopefully podium. That's my goal, is the podium and keep a smile on my face.
Right on. I love the attitude, and we hope to see you on top of the box. Thanks, Gunnar.
Thank you.
Says he's been riding a little motocross, a man after my own heart, but we're excited to have him here at BRL as well. And we've got so many racing enthusiasts. Obviously, Cody Gilmore, an experienced motocross and supercross racer in his own right. So many of these riders have got experience on a multitude of bikes, and they know how exciting this is. Bagger Racing League really still relatively new as far as coming into its own, Tony, but and you can touch on it, not only, like we said, a commentator, but a rider yourself. It is really cool to see the evolution of this sport, the machines, and the riders as well over these past few years.
Yeah, it really is amazing just touching on the evolution. I mean, this is my class right here, and I can just tell you that the motorcycles as they sit here today in this Pro Stock Bagger class compared to what we were doing 4 years ago is just amazing. The things that these bikes can do out on the track and the lap times they can put down is just amazing, and I love seeing the evolution of it.
I tell you what I'm excited to see is I think we're going to have some close racing. Cody Gilmore has kind of been the one we've been talking about. The guy is he's aggressive right from the green flag. He usually gets some good starts, and if he gets out front early, it's bad news for the rest of the field. But now we've got riders like Daniel Spina, Tony Salima, obviously back racing with us, and then Clay Braun, who has a unique position because he's not in the championship battle. Points aren't necessarily on the line for him. This is a little bit of the chip on the shoulder to say, hey, I may not have been here all year, but this is what could have happened if I was.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like you said, Clay's going to throw a wrench in the mix here. I think the one to watch is the number 199 of Daniel Spina. He's definitely got some speed. Cody's obviously got the better lap times here as he's sitting in P1. But if he can, if he bobbles off the line and Daniel can get him, it's going to shape up to be a really great battle.
Well, and like you said, that start, as it is with most racing forms, is absolutely crucial. But we've seen it time and time again. If you can be out front through those first one or two turns, you really have the ability to kind of control that opening lap. But we also know Cody Gilmore, an aggressive rider. He knows how to make passes happen very quickly. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, you see Spina there sitting on the line, getting the grid re-racked before we throw the green flag.
Yeah, and just so the viewers are aware of what's going on here, this is actually one race. It's actually two classes, so it's actually two separate races. We have the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. They're going to be the first 8 guys online. Then there's going to be an open spot. That number 9 grid position is going to be left blank, and then starting in the 10th grid position will be the Barnett Clutches Super Street class. They'll be running at the same time. They're not necessarily racing each other. There'll be there'll be podium winners for each class. So this is a mixed race here.
Yeah, very, very important to point out to all of our viewers because we've got a very stacked grid. But like you said, they may not be competing in the same class, but, I mean, you know as well as I do, Tony, when you're out there, if there's a motorcycle in front of you, you want to find a way around it.
Definitely. I mean, if there's a guy in front of me, I want to pass him. I don't care if he's in the points lead of a different class. I want to pass him. That's just the racer mentality in all of us. So looks like the red flag's coming off. We'll have green flag racing here coming up really soon.
Here we go. So our Barnett Clutches Super Street Bagger in the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class getting ready to come underway. This is a beautiful camera shot here. The flag behind the back, anticipation building. And here we go, green flags waving. Super Street and Pro Stock Bagger classes off and rolling. And look at the drive from one of those riders in about the second or third row.
Looks like Cody Gilmore is going to be first into turn 1. He's got the best lap time, so he's going to try and check out here. The number 199, Daniel Spina, coming up soon behind him. Looks like Arnie Wells sitting in third right now.
Yeah, Wells, a good jump there from the back row. Tony Salima going to try to capitalize and see if maybe he can get up into those top podium positions. But like you said, Tony, Cody Gilmore, an absolute rocket ship off the line. Daniel Spina, he's going to have to take the pen and paper out, take a couple of notes, see if he can maybe pick up on some lines, find a 10th or 2 here and there, maybe even show Cody Gilmore a wheel.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up on who's in third there. I think that's Clay actually banking a charge up front. Clay had a little mishap in qualifying this morning and had to go out qualify. So I think he kind of struggled in qualifying and put him towards the back of the pack. But he is marching forward. But Cody Gilmore continues to charge forward here, stretch out a little bit of a lead.
Starting to open up by just a couple of bike lengths, not running away with anything quite yet. And this has kind of been the tail of the tape. This opening lap really sets the way things are going to go for the next couple. Daniel, if he can stay right there on the rear wheel, watch what Cody's doing, I truly believe that he's got the potential to try to chase him down. But like we said, Clay Braun, he's somebody that I really want to watch simply because we haven't gotten to see him in racing this year. Yes, obviously the machines are important. Being able to know the lines are important as well. But you know as well as anybody, Tony, fitness is going to be crucial as well. Got to wonder where Clay's at with that.
Yeah, you can see Arnie creeping up on the back of Clay there, coming down the straightaway. Obviously, maybe a little bit of horsepower advantage there. But I know that we got a rider off track here. We might have yellow flags flown out here. We'll see what's going on.
Did look like we had a rider go off the track. Not what we want to see. Hopefully they're going to be okay. Taking a look back here at your leaders. And sounds like we've got a red flag. So red flag going to come out. We're going to have to re-rack our riders, and I believe this will be a full restart of this race. Obviously, safety a top priority here at the Bagger Racing League. Rider went down. We're going to make sure that they are properly attended to before we drop the green flag once again on that Barnett Clutches Super Street and Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger classes.
Yeah, safety's first and foremost in racing. We're going to attend to these riders or rider. We're not exactly sure what's going on yet, but we'll get the track cleared and make sure that everybody's safe and taken care of, and we'll re-rack the grid, and we'll get back to green flag racing.
Now, Tony, as a racer yourself, obviously we know what we do is dangerous, all right? At the end of the day, racing is a dangerous sport, but we all know those risks when we line up. What do you think if you are Cody Gilmore, if you're Tony Salima, if you're Clay Braun, what are you telling yourself on the line right now to try to keep yourself calm? Like we said, still trying to find out exactly who that rider was that went down, if it was just one. But if you are not one of the riders that went down, you're back on the line once again. What are you doing? You're trying to get the heart rate back down. What are you telling yourself? You said this was your class. How would you be approaching this situation?
Well, I think from a rider standpoint, first and foremost is tire temperature out here. Obviously the riders are not going to know, are they going to re-rack right away? Is this going to be something that might take us 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes at times? And they need to get the bikes back to the pit and get the tire warmers put back on. So first and foremost is kind of getting information like, are we going right back out, or do we need to worry about tire temp here?
So watching the 199 make his way towards his pit and his crew, going to try to figure out exactly what's going on. And there you see the 951 of Clay Braun. They're looking, I believe that was a little pumped up fist pump there. Got to be solid with a good start off of the second row as well. So maybe Clay going to have an opportunity to make something happen. There you see Arnie Wells. And one of the riders, obviously, like you said earlier, Tony, we've got two classes out on the track. We did a pretty good job highlighting some of those heavy hitters in the Barnett Clutches Super Street Bagger class. But like you said, those last two rows, Jake Masters out of the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class has really impressed me this season. I know we've talked about it in our earlier races this season. The guy has really come into his own and really made himself a threat, I think, to be one of the top racers that we have here at Bagger Racing League.
Yeah, Jake's come in, in seasons past, he's kind of been riding in like the lightweight and the air-cooled twins class on some Sportsters and, other bikes. This is his first year on a bagger, and man, has he been impressive all season. He's really been kind of the reference bike, if you will, in the Super Street class. He's really showing these guys what kind of lap times you can run on a Super Street built motorcycle. So, he's been very impressive.
Now, we talked to some of our riders as far as how they're feeling and everything like that. But like we said, here at Willow Springs, this is a famous racetrack. Obviously, I believe the first and oldest purpose-built race course in the country. And we're super excited to be here. We enjoy it. I know Tony and myself do, but we got to catch up with the riders and see what their thoughts were here on Willow Springs. We'll go back and start with our friend Arnie Wells.
Check out some of the different stuff going on here at the facility this weekend. Obviously, we've got the lifestyle cycle bender drill. That thing just keeps on growing. Every time I look, we've got ultra cool down there on the end. I see.
Going to try to get that interview pulled up for you here.
Foundation. Shark Law is there. Alloy Art. That's Dell's Paint Auto. lifestyle cycles, of course.
Super high speed, so that's fun, and it's also it's scary, but there's a lot of bumps in it, so it upsets the bikes quite a bit, and it's just something you have to get used to, or you're going to fall back. And yeah, last year I took a pretty bad spill on turn 1, and then today I went down on turn 3 on the Duke, but I was good. Walked away from it. So.
Everything's all good. You're good. The bike's okay.
It's all right. There's a few missing parts, but yeah.
I know when we were here last year, wind was a factor. It was part of why you crashed last year. How's the wind affecting you out here this weekend?
It's definitely in my head, and just I'm not riding like to my full ability. So, and then I hit a big oil patch today, and that's what happened. It's just like a super mellow slide out. But yeah, I don't like the wind, and it's cold.
So getting to hear from Arnie there, and that's a unique perspective as well. Obviously, from the outside looking in, you go, oh, it's a road course. It's got to be relatively smooth, Tony. But as you know, and as Arnie touched on, somewhere here like Willow Springs, there are little bumps, little raises and divots in the track that the naked eye can't really see. But when you're over 100 miles an hour, those can really kind of make or break the way you're able to handle some of these parts of the track.
Yeah, definitely. Wind, I think, is probably the biggest factor at times. I mean, we're lucky today that we have good conditions out here. It's not overly warm, but the wind is pretty calm. But when the wind kicks up out here, it really plays into, I had a lot of conversations with the racers yesterday about the track and the wind. And, it's funny to listen to some of the riders. I got the sense that some of the riders don't mind the wind. They actually find ways to use it to their advantage, maybe help turn the bike, or if they're going into the wind, maybe they know they can kind of lean into it a little bit. So I guess it's just kind of a comfort thing on whether you are comfortable with it and you kind of use it to your advantage to maybe find some speed.
Well, and it's like we talk about all the time. You got to take opposition and turn it into optimism, right? And like we said, a rider that's always got a smile on the face and an optimistic outlook is Clay Braun. Let's hear what Clay's got to say about Willow Springs.
I mean, so it's there. I believe the first race here was in like the 50s. So it's cool to come out here and race at Harley on a car track. That's we're not even supposed to be out here. So it's cool to be out here on the Bag Nasty leopard print and actually pushing it, and hopefully we can do something tomorrow. I mean, I'm 170 pounds wet, so it kind of pushes me and pulls me, but just trying to get after it. Can't complain about it.
Great to hear from Clay. And like we said, the guy is always just as happy as can be. And like he said, we're not supposed to be out here. Obviously, Willow Springs welcomed the Bagger Racing League and is excited to have us out here. But it is cool to be able to be on such a historic track where there is so much history, and to be able to race the sport that we love. Now, Gunnar Olette, we heard from him a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit newer in the face of Bagger Racing League. Let's see what Gunnar's thinking about Willow Springs.
It's a lot faster than I'm used to. I'm not used to carrying momentum around the corners, kind of point and shoot. So getting used to late apexing and coming in and carrying speed is a whole different ball game, and I love this track because of it. It's just changing the flow and all that. It's way different for me, so now it's better for me to learn more.
And like always, the wind is a challenge. How has that been affecting you, good or bad, out here?
Not bad. You could feel it when you're turning the bike. You could feel the wind kind of start to shake you, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So hopefully this weekend the wind dies down and we'll have a nice, good track.
So Gunnar, talking about it a little bit, and Tony, obviously, I'm leaning heavily on your racing experience here, but with something like the wind, you can even see the flags in the background of the shot right here. They're waving. It is a little more of a consistent wind out here in California. It's not like you get just a huge gust here and then no wind at all. But like we said, it's still relatively inconsistent, and that can play some tricks on the riders.
Yeah, with road racing, everything is very exact, and even if it is a constant wind speed, it does change. It kind of swirls around some of the buildings and everything in the pits. So, like as you come down the front stretch, you might not feel it as much, And then as you kind of get past the pits and all the building, and everything that is there, it definitely could change the way the wind is kind of flowing across the track. So it seems like it should be consistent, but when you're out there, it really seems to kind of sneak up on you at times. And as a road racer, that's just kind of unnerving. You want to have the confidence that when you kind of lean into a corner, you're not going to have something just come along and push you offline, because it really does come down to a matter of inches here. I mean, an inch one way or the other is the difference between staying on or off track.
Well, we're going to make sure that rider is properly attended to and cleared out of the track, make sure everything is safe before we get ready to go back green flag racing. Until then, we're going to give a word from our sponsors before we come back to round number 5 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17 inch configuration. Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Back to the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Bagger finale weekend round 5 of 6 here today. We had a rider go down in our first race or our first lap of the Super Street and our Pro Stock combined classes. So we want to make sure that rider is tended to and taken care of before we get back to racing. We were able to talk to some of the riders as far as how they feel about themselves, how they feel about the track, but we got to talk about these incredible machines that we have out here at Bagger Racing League. I believe we were actually able to catch up with Jake Masters and take a look at his bike, see exactly what some of those cool, unique details are that take maybe your average Harley or your average Bagger bike and turn it into a Bagger Racing League machine that's capable of grabbing a win. Let's see.
All right, if you're looking to get your bagger race ready, you want to know where to get some of these trick parts, we got a couple of new parts available here on Jake Masters' Super Street bike, starting with this Memphis Shades bubble windshield. Really is very aerodynamic, cuts the wind, you can get tucked in behind it, and it's a great addition, and actually looks super cool on the bike here. So Memphis Shades has gotten into the Bagger Racing League game, and they've come to play and built a really nice windshield here. Moving back, the next trick part we see here is this new race seat built by Sly Fox. This actually kind of pushes you up higher, up over the center of the motorcycle, and gets you above your foot control so you can really use your legs to kind of leverage side to side. And the last piece of the puzzle here is these new saddlebags that are race cut. They're built by Hoppy Industries. That really allow a lot more lean angle rather than having a squared off bag that might touch the ground as you lean into the corner. They kind of shave to the bottom of the bag off there. Some really trick parts that are all available at your nearest Drag Specialties dealer. If you want to trick your bike out, get a hold of us.
All right, Tony, I know you're a bike guy. You're a finicker. We're in the Tucker Speed studio. You got the Tucker Speed shop where you are one of the guys that kind of is helping on the forefront of progress for these Bagger Racing Leagues. How much fun was that? Getting up close and personal with Jake's bike and really dissecting that thing and looking at what makes it a unique racing machine.
Yeah, I'm really, a builder at heart. I love building my own motorcycles. All the bikes that I've raced in the past, I've put together myself. So, it goes back to that evolution of the sport and the support of the aftermarket brands to kind of jump on here and start building, because back then, I was shaving my own saddlebags and, just taking stuff and just doing it on our own. So it's really neat to see, companies like Hoppy and Sly Fox and Memphis Shades recognizing that this sport is changing the way the American V-twin market's operating and building parts to make them go faster and handle better or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's really fun to see that stuff.
Now, as a builder yourself, like you said, when you were doing it, you guys were kind of experimenting yourself and trying to find new ways to find an advantage. Is there anything that you see in the future for the Bagger Racing League and the way these bikes are set up that you think you want to see maybe changed a little bit more or help to improve these machines even more so in the racing format?
Well, I think that the one thing that a lot of teams are still struggling with today is in the suspension department. These bikes were never built, just the geometry of the frames and the suspension on these things. These bikes were never really engineered to come out here and race on a road course. So I think that suspension is one thing that, is continuing to evolve, and I see a lot more suspension companies jumping on board and kind of finding out how to have these bikes handle these road courses better. And I think that that's translating over to the street as well.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be an interesting thing. We talked about how many things have changed over the last few years as far as these bikes going from, I don't want to say, garage builds, if you will, but in a lot of ways they are. It's been unique, custom things that each rider or each kind of group behind each one of these machines decides, hey, let's try this out. Let's take a look at this. And then now you start to see a little bit more of a certain format, a certain shape of these race bikes. And now as we continue to bring in new classes, the Metra classes, the sidecars, I think progression's only going to continue in the coming years for BRL.
Yeah, for sure. And the other unique aspect is as you look out across the pits here, and you see teams like Trask, Fueling, Saddleman. These aftermarket companies that have been building performance products that they're actually out here with race teams. And they're basically R&Ding while they're out here. They're building parts, and then they come out here and they test them. They see what works. They see what doesn't. They go back. They refine it. And once they have a product that they feel like is ready for the market, they're sending it out there. And obviously all these brands are all available through, Drag Specialties, who, Drag is the one putting on this race. So it all kind of funnels back, to like my customers. I have my shop at home. I'm a Drag Specialties dealer, and I'm able to offer my customers these products that are proven on the racetrack. And if they want to try and go fast through the canyons at home, we have the parts that can do that.
Yeah, we're super fortunate and very grateful as well to have all of our friends over at Drag Specialties be such a intricate part of the Bagger Racing League and helping to develop those new machines and continuing to innovate the world of bagger racing. Like we said, obviously inviting some new characteristics and new types of racing out here this weekend with the sidecar racing. We were able to catch up with our guest announcer, Larry, who really helps us break down what makes these machines so incredible. He did a great job of analyzing them out on the track, but we want to get up close and personal. Let's throw things down to Larry and see what he's breaking down with our friends at the sidecar class.
Frank, tell us a little bit about the bike, maybe how long you've been doing this.
Well, the bike itself, I just got it from a guy in Belgium. It took me a few months to get here. This is the first time we've had it on track, and it is it's an RCN chassis, which is a Windle copy. And RCN stands for Colin Nicholson Racing, and this is built in the UK, and did I say it was a 2014? And so we had it out here today, just getting the gremlins out of it, getting used to it. And about myself, I've been racing for about 30 years, racing sidecars, and yeah, this chassis is the best one I've been on. So.
And Frank is an ARMA champion and an AMA champion as well. You've won at AMA champion races. So, Roman, come on in here. Roman is the passenger on this bike. And one of the things that we get a lot about, Boy, you're the passenger. You must be nuts. You know, we hear that a lot. Tell us what it's like to be a passenger. First of all, let me delve in a little bit to why a passenger. 2 men, teamwork, very, very important, as we'll see tomorrow on the racetrack. When you're riding a solo bike, you can lean it into the turns to compensate for the centrifugal force that's trying to pull you outside. Obviously, with a sidecar, 3 wheels on the ground, you can't do that. You have to have a passenger that does the same thing with the weight. Move the weight to the inside of the racetrack, counteracting that centrifugal force that's trying to pull you to the outside. Roman, that's your job. And you're new at it, I understand. What do you think about sidecar racing? As this is, I understand, your first event.
It is. Yeah, this is first time I'm out here. Frank actually introduced me to sidecar racing, and it's pretty nuts. People aren't lying. It's pretty crazy. So far, though, just getting the hang of it, getting used to it. Yeah, definitely, like you were saying, the forces really take a lot in play, and going into it, I thought maybe it's going to be more like 90% driver, 10% passenger, but really, it really is like a 50-50 kind of distribution. Yeah, and you just kind of dance around with it and go from left to right, and slowly just getting a little better at it. The first one, I wasn't really using the force to my advantage as much. I was really just muscling around, just trying to force myself from left to right, which just really tired me out. So the second one I went out there, I started to really get more of a feel of the forces just throwing me around, and even just allowing that to happen, I could kind of tell the bike really liked that a lot more. So.
And this is so cool to be able to see the unique little details, not only between the bikes, but the riders as well. Like we said, or like we just heard, there's so many unique things that the pilot has to focus on, that the passenger has to focus on as well. And then, like Larry's been saying all day long, essentially, it all comes down to teamwork. While you do have 2 people in the machine, they have to work in one fluid motion and work as one big organism. And so I really enjoy this. I want to throw it back down to Larry. I know we've got some more in-depth interviews. I want to learn a little more about this sidecar while we're still getting the rest of our medical staff off the track.
Give us a little bit of your background, Kinsey, because you've got, as well as Kelly, pretty extensive background in sidecar racing.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it I was actually just talking to him about it, 16 years now, and I only know that because I have a 16-year-old son. So I got into it at Las Vegas, and I was just doing photography at that time, and I was like, oh, wow, that's super cool. I was like, I want to do that. And the tower heard me say it and pointed me in that direction, and I had some background in motorcycle racing, and they just asked me if I wanted to do it. I hopped on, and they're like, you're natural. And so I was like, cool, I want to continue to do this. So just continued with it for the last 16 years.
Excellent. And Kelly, you're a ARMA champion, have won. I've seen you win races at Laguna Seca, I don't know where else. How long have...
Laguna Seca, here, Sears Point, or Sonoma. Yeah, yep. Pretty much everywhere so far.
Let's talk a little bit about your sidecar.
Sure.
Similar to Frank's,
actually,
but
a lot alike.
This doesn't look. I mean, to the uneducated, well, even to the educated motorcycle guy, you look at a sidecar, they go, "What the heck is going on here?" Tell us a little bit. First of all, the chassis.
Yeah, the chassis is a monocoque chassis. It's actually built like a Formula One car. The monocoque chassis, it's aluminum monocoque. And everything hangs off of it. It has motorcycle components, so they've taken the idea of a motorcycle sidecar and then they've modified it extensively to what we have to today, which is this is an F1 long chassis sidecar with a 1000 GSXR motor in it. Put close to 200 horsepower out, weighs about 450 pounds.
And how adjustable? I mean, looking at the front end, it's not a leading link front end like we'll see on on the Formula 2 sidecars. It's not a center hub steering quite. And the rear end looks like automotive. How adjustable? What can you do here?
You can do anything here. That's what makes this so great. You can adjust anything up and down, back and forth, side. I can push my trail out. Same thing in the back if it's crabbing. If I need to steer more of a right-hand corner, I'll set it up for a right hand, like Willow Springs is. If it's a left-hand track, I can set up for a left-hand track.
And tires, I mean, to the average guys, wow, those are big, wide tires. They look like car tires.
They're actually specially made. These Avons are specially made and come from the UK, and they are especially made for Formula One sidecars. And so there's an 11.5 inch in the back. We have a 10-inch, or 9-inch in the front, and then a 10.5 on the side.
Well, it is great to have sidecars here at the BRL. We're going to have about 7 or 8 sidecars on the racetrack tomorrow, both Formula One, and maybe later on we'll get a chance to talk to some of the Formula 2 guys that are a little bit different. Really looking forward to seeing you guys out on the racetrack. And one thing I love about it is when the sidecars are on the racetrack, all the solo guys, everybody goes to pit wall to watch the sidecars. We love the sidecars, and we like to entertain them. And great racing. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with BRL, but we always say this kind of racing brings up the racers to the wall.
And we're excited to have you here as well. The entire sidecar class and sidecar community has been extremely grateful and welcoming here to the BRL and vice versa as well. We love good racing, no matter how many wheels are involved, how many people are on the machine, and so very excited to have them joining us here for the finale weekend. It does sound like we are kind of wrapping things up there here in the Tucker Speed Studio. Tony, man, I wish I could just give you a big high five right now, man. We're not together in person, but nonetheless, we've had a little bit of time, obviously a decent sized delay between that rider going down. We did just hear the warning about 5 minutes before we get back to racing. Let's go back to the racer's mindset. These guys, you see Cody Gilman right there. He's strapping the helmet back up. What's going through the head? Are we going to see some jumping jacks? Are we going to see these guys try to get locked back in and into that racer's mindset?
Yeah, I think, the mindset of these guys, I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, I think. But for me, it's just trying to refocus. Get warm. It is a little cold out there. So, you might see some jumping jacks and push-ups. I don't know. But, try and get warm. Hopefully the tires have stayed warm. Hopefully we don't have any tire temperature issues. And, just refocus. Get back in the zone, because this is a huge distraction. You kind of spend all morning getting kind of psyched up in the right mindset to go racing, and this really disrupts your mindset. So, you got to reset, get back in that space, and get ready to go back racing.
Well, we are getting ready to throw the drop the green flag once again. But before we get to it, we're going to let the riders get warmed up, get those bikes fired back up. We are going to get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back racing with our Super Street and Pro Stock bagger classes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. It's finale weekend, and here on Saturday, it's round 5 of 6. If you're just joining us, we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing in our Super Street and Pro Stock classes. We did have a rider go down, believe that was the number 10 of Joseph Beaver out of that Pirelli Pro Stock class. Joseph, we hope you're doing all right. Obviously, safety a top priority. We made sure that they were taken care of, that the racetrack is safe. And we've got the rest of our riders on sight lap right now. They're going to get another opportunity to get the tires warmed up, glance around, check the track out. Who knows, Tony? Maybe find a secret line that they hadn't seen so far. I think this is kind of a big opportunity for them to take some breaths and really get back into that laser-focused mindset like you were talking about.
Definitely. Cody Gilmore, he was first into turn 1 on the first green flag. He's going to try and repeat that. I think that we saw the number 199, Daniel Spina. He kind of wheelied up, didn't really get to drive into turn 1. He's going to look to improve on his start. So, you get a second chance here, a second opportunity to be first into turn 1. We'll see if anybody else can beat Cody to it.
Yeah, like you said, the start absolutely crucial. There you see the 374 of Cody Gilmore, kind of been the top dog in that Super Street class, but Daniel Spina can't count him out, and now he's got another opportunity to try to make an impression right off the gate. There it is, green flag waving, and another incredible drive from Cody Gilmore. But look at this, Tony, we got a battle headed into turn 1.
Yeah, Cody is really nailing those starts. Look at, he's got a little bit of a gap into turn 1 here. Clay with a great start from second row. He's up to third position there. Arnie in fourth place. Cody, again, trying to stretch out a lead early in lap 1, just being aggressive right off the start.
Now taking a look, it's really hard to dissect what Cody Gilmore is doing better than the rest of the field. It's maybe a 0.5% here, 1% here. Is there anything that sticks out to you just from the green flag to the exit of turn 1 that allowed Cody Gilmore to open that gap up?
When I watch Cody ride, really what I see is that he's making it look easy. Effortless, and a lot of times when the guy looks like he might be going slow, he probably is going the fastest. Cody's just a natural rider. He's an off-road background, a motocross background, and he's just a natural on two wheels. You see him nail that start. He didn't have any wheelie. He was able to get the power to the ground but keep the bike driving forward. So yeah, I think that's what I see, is he's just doing everything right.
Taking a look, here is the battle on screen for the second place spot. I believe that is Daniel Spina and possibly the 951 of Clay Braun. Clay says, hey boys, I might not have been here all year, but I'm here now, and I have got a point to prove, as he's trying to find his way around for second place.
Yeah, if I know anything about Clay, he wants to come out and make a statement today. Yeah, wow, a little bobble there from Arnie. But yeah, Clay's going to want to come out and say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still fast. Arnie, that horsepower. Oh, Clay's going to drive in. It's a great move by Clay.
That? Look at that battle side by side through the corner between Arnie Wells and Clay Braun. This is exactly what we wanted to see here in the Super Street class, and what looked to be Arnie having the pass made. Like you said, Tony, Clay leaving the brakes off just a little bit longer, charging hard into that corner, and as you know, the inside kind of controls the corner, able to hold off Arnie Wells for now.
Yeah, Clay is no stranger to aggressive riding. He definitely will, outbrake you. He's going to drive. He wants to be first to the apex, and that's where he really shines.
So here is the battle on screen right now. Clay Braun has the position, the final podium position at the moment, but Arnie Wells got a little bit of a point to prove. It sounds like he wasn't super satisfied with his qualifying effort in his riding earlier today. So, able to put that in the rearview mirror. Now he's trying to execute and trying to find a way around the 951 of Braun.
Yeah, I think that, Arnie, wow, he's driving around the outside. He's going to be first to the apex here. We'll see if it can make it stick. No, and Clay just closes the doors. So a great battle.
This is close racing. Yeah, this is not in. Nobody's doing anything dirty here. This is just good, hard racing, and both of these riders a ton of respect for another as well. And this is what you love to see, Tony. This is what the spirit of racing is all about. Fast, intense racing, but at the end of the day, a ton of respect. Once again, a side-by-side drag race down the front stretch, and it looks like Wells might have the position.
Arnie's got him. We'll see how aggressive Clay wants to get into turn 1 here for this battle for third. Looks like Arnie was able to really put a little bit of a gap on him and take a hold of it. But Clay's going to stay aggressive as he heads up in here into turn 2 and then up into the Omegas, turn 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, it looked like Wells was able to get a pretty good drive out of that corner, headed onto the front stretch for the last 2 laps. We saw him pull up alongside Braun beforehand. Now look at this. Braun closes the gap within about a bike length or so. Not finished quite yet.
And this race for the lead here, Daniel Spina kind of inching up on Cody. We haven't seen that all season. Cody has really checked out and never seen anybody all season long, but it looks like he may have a challenge coming up behind it.
Yeah, how about it? The 199 says, wait a second, I want to join the party too. And this is, like you said, kind of new territory for Gilmore so far this year. He hasn't really had a ton of battling. Once he works his way to the front, if he doesn't get the start, then he finds himself out front kind of all by his lonesome by the time the checker flag falls. So Spina really trying to make something happen, and he knows he's got to keep that intensity up all the way through this race, because Gilmore, like you were saying earlier, Tony, it's just consistency. Lap after lap, he puts the whole lap together. It's not one good section here and then not so good here. The entire lap is super consistent, but Spina able to hang tight right now.
This might turn into a drag race here. Daniel trying to pull up to the side of Cody here. We'll see what happens going into turn 1. But Cody, like you said, I mean, he just checks all the boxes. I know he's in great shape. His fitness is key. He's going to be able to last the race. We're going to see if Daniel can kind of hang with him into the later stages of the race.
Now, Spina right now doing a great job, kind of peeking to the inside and outside, not following directly behind Gilmore. But if you are the leader out front, Tony, how hard is it to not want to think, where's he going? Maybe even take a little glance back in one of the corners. As look at this, the 199 thought he was going to pull up alongside.
Yeah, I think for Cody, if you're the leader, you just have to forget the guys back there. Just ride your race, charge forward. You might want to maybe protect the inside line maybe a little bit more, and that's kind of a catch-22. If you're thinking about protecting him or protecting the inside, that means you're thinking about him and you're not thinking about charging forward. So there's a fine line of just focusing forward and protecting the inside line.
Well, and it really seems like the battle has been between charging down the straightaway and then who's willing to charge the hardest into the corners. We saw that seemed to be the back and forth between Braun and Wells, and then now with Spina and Gilmore as well. It seemed like Daniel was able to kind of catch up on the straight, but Gilmore opens it up by about a bike length or 2 into the corners.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's that horsepower versus kind of that technical aspect of this racetrack. Obviously from, about turn, 6 to all the way down to turn 1, it's wide open, just all horsepower. You get up into the high side of this racetrack, up on the side of the hill, it's very technical through turns 3, 4, 5, 6. And if your bike's got a better setup as far as suspension goes, I don't know what happened to Spina there. He just went way wide trying to get around a lapper. He should have really been a little more aggressive there, I think.
Yeah, I was kind of confused as well, because definitely looked like the door was open. That lap rider doing a great job of staying out of the race line. But nonetheless, we talk about it all the time, Tony. Unexpected things can happen once you start working your way through the back end of the pack. That is going to open up probably 5+ bike lengths for Cody Gilmore, taking a little bit of the pressure off of the 374.
Yeah, I think that was a big mistake by the 199 there. He should have been a little bit more aggressive, tried to stay with Cody. The last thing you want to give Cody is some breathing room. With a 4 or 5 bike length, he can just now manage that lead and just try and bring it home now.
Yeah, and you touched on it. We saw Daniel, he was making, a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe a wheel length at a time. But now you take a look at that is definitely over 10 bike lengths. So time going to be running low as far as if that's the amount he's able to make up little by little. But it does look like I was almost concerned for a second that there was something going on with Daniel, because that outside line really caught me off guard. But he does still look to be charging full speed, and everything seems to be okay. And I do think he's actually closed it up by maybe a bike length or so.
It's never over till the checkers flies, but it's a pretty good gap. But we'll see if he can chip away at it here. But Cody's a force to be reckoned with. He's like we said in the previous rounds, Cody is just checking all the boxes here, man. He just doing everything right and so consistent every lap.
Well, and staying cool under pressure as well, even if it's really the first time he's had a lot of it so far this season. Cody Gilmore, we didn't see any of the peeking over the shoulders, any aggressive changes to his racing lines. He just stuck to his guns, and it pays off for him as of right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, not sure exactly where we're at in the race, but Daniel's going to start running out of time here. I know we're in the later stages of this race here. So Cody still got a comfortable lead. Looks like Arnie Wells is comfortably back in third. I think that fight from Clay is a little short-lived. Clay's probably not in the best shape. I mean, he's been out of racing for a while. He's probably still trying to get that conditioning and that fitness back up to where he was before his accident. So looks like Arnie's still sitting comfortably in third.
Well, and one thing that I heard Clay talk about in his interview they did with you was I believe he's got some metal in his hand as well, and it sounds like it's relatively cold out there this weekend. That can definitely play into things as well. Obviously, these guys are going at a high rate of speed. The wind going to chill them off even more so, possibly kind of starting to feel that a little bit or maybe even lose a bit of feeling in the hand with the colder weather.
Yeah, we see the white flag here, so, Daniel Spina on the 199, he's going to be running out of time here. I don't know that gap there is, small enough for him to make an overtake. He really seems to make up some ground right in this part of the track, but Cody just kind of marches away at the top of the hill.
Yeah, I was about to say, he is charging that. He has definitely cut that lead down by a few bike lengths, and it looks like Gilmore maybe even getting hung up just a little bit by the lap rider. Wait a second, Tony, we may have a battle headed to the checkered flag.
We definitely do. Lap riders playing into the equation here. That's Carl Schlock in our Super Street class. But yeah, it did look like he held Cody up just a little bit. I mean, and that's racing. We both riders got to get around the lapper, and you got to try and get around him as quick as possible. And if it slows you down, it slows you down. That's part of racing.
They make their way through turns 4 and 5. Spina smells blood in the water. He knows if he wants to get the job done, he's got to do it on this lap, running out of time, charging down the hill. Gilmore trying not to let the pressure phase him. Only a few corners left to go. This is what you said, Tony. It's not over till the checker flag flies.
As they round the back stretch here, they're going to be coming into the front stretch here, and it's going to be an absolute drag race to the checkers. It looks like Daniel's really charging hard through there. Here they come across the home stretch. We'll see who can do it.
Here we go. Machines wide open. Who's going to have it? Spina tries to cut over. Oh, and it does look like just barely by less than a bike length. Cody Gilmore going to grab the win in your Barnett Clutches Super Street Bagger class. What a race. And look at him immediately turning around and giving some props to his competition. I love to see it. That was quite the race there, Tony.
That was, and that's something that Cody hasn't seen all day. He looks back as he crosses the finish line, and there's someone right there. So, yeah, that's something we haven't seen all year. That was a great race.
That was very impressive to watch. And as we take a look now at our Alpine Stars Rapid replay, the green flag flies, and honestly, I'll be the first to admit it. You see the start from Cody Gilmore. If he is leading the pack around turn 1, oftentimes that's been all she wrote, because the guy, like you said, Tony, is just buttery smooth. But the 199, he's unfazed by reputation. He says, wait a second, I want to show what I'm capable of as well. And he did a great job. Had some mishaps there trying to make his way around lap traffic. This was the battle for third place between Clay Braun and Arnie Wells. It does look like Arnie Wells was going to come out on top for that final podium position. And you see the gap there. I mean, that's easily 10 to 12 bike lengths between Cody Gilmore and Daniel Spina. But when it was all said and done, less than a bike length, an all-out drag race to the finish. And Cody Gilmore going to come out on top. There you see Wells cementing himself in the third place spot. Clay Braun doing a great job. A huge congratulations to him as far as coming back and joining us and not just participating, but really being a threat for a podium finish. An impressive performance for sure for young blood Clay. But up at the front of the field in that Baggers Clutches Super Street Bagger class, Cody Gilmore will not be denied. He enjoys the competition, turned around, gave him some props after the checker flag was waving, but until he saw the checker flags, it was all business. Not even a little glance back over the shoulder, and I think that speaks to the confidence of Gilmore, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, that's undefeated on the season for Cody still. So, confidence riding high, and, this was the drag race to the finish line, but Cody got it done once again.
So take a look. Cuts to the side. I honestly think if the checkered flag had been maybe 100 feet further up, we may have a different winner, but you can't play what if, shoulda, woulda, coulda. At the end of the day, it is Cody Gilmore grabbing the win out of your Super Street Bagger class with Daniel Spina and Arnie Wells Rounding out your podium, Clay Braun and Tony Salima, your top 5 in the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. It is Jake Masters once again taking the win. We got to see the in-depth view of his bike, and he put that bike on the number 1 spot once again in that Pirelli Pro Stock class. So riders making their way down here on the cool-down lap, going to be making their way back towards the pits as we get ready to take a look at one of our metric classes. We talked about having some new faces, some returning faces to the BRL. Corey West, a name that several people are familiar with, and we were able to catch up with Corey, talk to him a little bit about how excited he is to be back here at BRL.
All right, we're here with Corey West, Team Saddleman. You've been on a hiatus with the BRL. You've been chasing other championships. It's good to see you back here in our pits. Tell us what you got back here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. First and foremost, Saddleman guys decided that we were going to do this last round here at Willow, so kind of using it as a test. We've changed some things up on our Pan Americas, so got a few special parts that we're trying, and then brought the old bagger out for this weekend too. So, yeah, just here to have some fun.
Yeah, we're really excited to see you out here on track and see what kind of speeds you guys have. We're really, anticipating some fast speeds. I also hear you're a new dad. Tell us how that's going.
Yeah, man. Had a baby right after the last round at COTA for Moto America, and he's like 7 weeks old. So it's been full-on dad mode for me. So I've been a little bit checked out since the season ended, but it's good to throw a leg over a bike again and get out here and cut some laps with the boys. So, just happy to be here and trying to stay warm.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little cold and windy out here today. I was just curious on, as another dad, having a baby at home, does that change the way you look at the race and your competitiveness at all? Does it change your mindset at all?
For sure, it changed my mindset this year. When Patricia and I found out that we were going to have a kid, it kind of flipped a switch in my head and just gave me something to really ride for. It's like, I've always pushed hard when I'm out there, but financially, I was like, let's get it on. Like, I've got diapers to buy. So, but it gave me good motivation, and, we ended up winning a championship. So it was really cool. And, we'll try to have the kiddo out here Sunday. If I can get it on the box, it'll be cool to hold the boy up on the podium.
That's very cool. And on that same note, you brought home a championship on the Pan America. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a hell of a year, Harley kind of entrusted us to go after that championship this year, and last year we had a decent season, but they changed the rules up a little bit and made our bike a little more competitive. So right out of the gate, we got a third and a first at Daytona, and came out of there with the championship points lead. So that was just like, all right, let's try to hang on to this as long as we can. And so out of 10 races, I got 9 podiums, 3 wins, and we ended up winning by 3 points over the Factory Indian boys. So it's awesome. I think it's maybe the only water-cooled Harley to ever win a championship, a national championship. So Harley said they're going to put my bike in the Harley Museum in Milwaukee, which is pretty rad. So, I'm just flying high on life right now, 40 years old and still kicking, so having a good time with it.
Right on. Congratulations to your championship. We're really excited to see you back out here. Look for Corey West, Team Saddleman, at the front of the grid in the Bagger GP class.
Very cool to hear there from Corey, and a huge congratulations to him and his new family. Very excited for that. And Tony, you can even touch on that as well, the way things change when you become a father. But at the end, we're racers at heart. And like he said, I've got diapers to buy now. So now got a little extra chip on the shoulder, if you will. But nonetheless, there's a lot that can change with the mentality of welcoming a child into the world, whether it's, do I have more to race for, or do I need to mitigate the risk? Both sides of the spectrum I can see as far as when you introduce the family aspect to racing.
Yeah, it definitely changes your mindset. I've raced. I've got kids at home. It definitely changes the way you think about life and the way you approach things. But once a racer, always a racer, and you want to get out here and be competitive. And sometimes when you put that helmet on, you're not dad anymore. You're just racer, and you just, green flag drops, and you go out there and be aggressive. So we see our grid here. We see a little bit of communication coming with our track workers. This is our DP Brakes liquid-cooled twins class and our air-cooled twins class. This is also a mixed class. Corey West in the middle of the front row there on his championship Pan America.
One of those riders right in the middle of the group getting a big jump And Corey West had the front end up a couple of times going down that front stretch, but he still does lead the pack headed into turn number 1.
Yeah,
very
Corey,
excited to see what West is able to do.
Definitely. Corey, obviously, won other championships on that motorcycle. It's a very competitive motorcycle. He should be putting down some very impressive lap times out here on this thing today. And I'm hoping to see a little bit of I'm hoping someone can come up and challenge him.
Yeah, taking a look at the practice lap times, West definitely had some things figured out, had a little bit more speed than the rest of the competition. However, Vincent Wilson and Gilbert Kahn there in second and third, the 11 and the 108, they were within a second or two of each other at some points. Jake McGuire in the mix as well, so a little bit of spread out as far as the times go, but as we've seen before, qualifying, not necessarily the full tail of the tape. When the green flag flies and we go racing, some people, they're able to find an extra couple of seconds a lap.
Yeah, definitely. The rider in second place here, Vincent Wilson, he's actually riding the Alloy Art Pan America bike. This is a new rider for that team. They found this kid out of Canada. He's been road racing. He's hungry to get out there. He's loving the BRL. This is the first time we've seen him on a BRL racetrack. And, I talked to the guys at Alloy Art about him, and they said, man, this guy is hungry. He wants to get out here and learn. They're just using this weekend to really, let him feel the bike. And, they're not looking for the top step of the podium. They're just looking for some feedback and looking how well he's going to start to gel with this motorcycle.
Well, I tell you what, he might be looking at a podium finish whether he plans to or not, because right now he is sitting strong in the second place position. You got to wonder, obviously we hear a lot as far as, hey, we don't have expectations set too high. We just want to go and see where we're at. We want to try to figure things out. That's a little bit easier said than done, isn't it, Tony? I mean, at the end of the day, kind of like what we talked about, when the helmet gets strapped on and the green flag flies, are you able to tell yourself, hey, just, don't worry about it too much, or is it pretty much, as much as you can give from the second the flag flies?
Yeah, I know for me, it's always just like, even if we don't have expectations, I'm not just going to go out there and put it in cruise control. We're going out and being aggressive, and we're going to charge forward and try and, produce the best result possible. So, yeah, I mean, and obviously that's what Vincent's doing right now. If he's trying to stay in tow with Corey West, who obviously won a championship, it's a pretty impressive ride for the first time out on the motorcycle.
Absolutely, and one of the things that you said the Alloy Art team was talking about is that hunger, right? That drive, and how important that is to be able to stay positive if you don't get the result that you're looking for. Obviously, right now it sounds like they're just trying to kind of get a base built up, but having that hunger, having that desire to continue to learn and do better, just as crucial as anything.
Yeah, Robbie over at Alloy Art, I talked to him this morning about Vincent, and Robbie just said, this kid seems to have it all. He's got the hunger, he's got the drive, and he just seems to really have a lot of talent and a good feel for the motorcycle. So, they have, I think they'll have some expectations maybe coming next year, but, just letting Vincent kind of get his feet wet here this weekend.
I'll tell you what, Corey West looking buttery smooth right now as he's making his way around, and already starting to see him break away just a little bit. And very similar to what we were talking about with Cody Gilmore, Tony, is it's just fluid. It's like the whole lap is just one solid fluid motion. There's no stop and start. Everything just leads right into the next section of the track. And those are the kind of things that come with experience. Obviously, I believe he said 40 years old, has spun plenty of laps around a multitude of tracks, and sometimes experience just as much of a virtue as hunger or drive.
Yeah, for sure. Corey, Corey's a very accomplished road racer. He's done a lot of laps around this track and every other track around the country. I mean, and yeah, he just is making it look effortless. And that's really what a lot of us are trying to get to. We're trying to get to that level. He makes it look so easy, and we go out there and think we can do it, and it's not easy. But Corey is kind of setting the bar out here today.
Well, he's setting it pretty high right now as he puts another lap in the books. We'll give you our AG Video Top 5 rundown. Corey West, Vincent Wilson, Gilbert Kahn, Jake McGuire, and Brandon Quevel, the top 5 right now here in this DP Brakes liquid-cooled twins and air-cooled twins class. Look at that, just pops the leg out. And as an off-road guy myself, it still blows my mind to watch you guys dragging your knees. I mean, Ruben, I think he was dragging elbows at some point. It is incredible to see, but it's also impressive to see how much that makes a difference, right? The lean angle, the aggressiveness in the corners. We talk about Ruben Zaus there in that Bagger GP class and how his ability to move that machine around and to put it where he wants it really makes such a difference, and Corey West looks like another example of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you see Corey here working through, turns 3, 4, and 5 and really using his body to his advantage. I mean, what he's trying to do here is, the more you can keep the bike upright and in the meat of the tire, as they say, the better the traction is. So if he can hang off the bike and try and start to stand the bike up, he can start to apply power earlier and drive out of the corner, and that's really what he's looking to do. And using the body is such a huge part of road racing.
Man, he is really putting it to good use as he has opened up quite the gap over the rest of the field. Does still look like Wilson there in the second place spot. Curious to see whether Gilbert's making up any room on him or whether we're going to start to see things spread out. Like we said, the qualifying, a little bit, it does give you an idea as to what to expect, but it's certainly not the entire story, and so may have some battles shaping up. Jake McGuire, obviously a name as well that we've seen battling for podiums, so things far from over here in this DP Brakes liquid-cooled and air-cooled twins classes.
Yeah, it looks like we're about halfway through the race here, and Corey's got a pretty sizable lead. As we go back through the pack here, I wanted to make one mention here. The 5th place Brandon, that's actually Brandon Quaid. There was a little bit of mix-up in timing and scoring with the spelling of his last name. I had a good conversation with Brandon Quaid of Quaid Harley-Davidson out of California here. He's a motorcycle dealer, and to see a dealer here at this level just being passionate about racing, and Brandon really does a lot of work to help additional racers get to the track. He's helping them transport, helping them with parts. So big shout out to Brandon and everything the Quaid Racing team is doing down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to have trust in what your dealer's telling you. If he's out there going racing on the machines as well, I think that'll show that he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it looks like we got a shot of Vincent Wilson coming down the hill here. Vincent's still charging hard. This is his first outing on this bike, like we've been talking about, and really just making it look easy. Vincent doing a good job. He's just clicking off laps. Obviously goal number 1 is just keep it on 2 wheels, stay on the asphalt, and at least he's got that part done. Holding down 2nd place. He looks like he's got a pretty good gap on 3rd. So, this is Corey West, obviously quite a ways out front over Vincent, but Vincent, hats off to Vincent out here on his first time out.
Now, if you are one of these riders that say, hey, we're using this race as a learning experience, we heard Corey West, obviously Vincent Wilson trying to get things figured out as well, and you find yourself not in a battle, are you changing lines a little bit? Are you tweaking little things or adjusting little things throughout the duration of the race to see what maybe works or what doesn't? Or is it pretty much, hey, I know what I want to do, and the only real modifications that we're making is in the pits before and after the races?
I think while Vincent's out there, he's really looking, he's probably moving the bike around the track, really getting familiar with the bike, because, what's probably happening is Vincent's background is, coming off of, purpose-built road race bikes, Superbikes, super sport bikes, whatever he might be riding in the past. And these bikes are very different than those motorcycles. They handle different, they're bigger, they're heavier, and he's just trying to really get the feel for these motorcycles, because coming off of a purpose-built, road racing motorcycle and hopping onto a Harley, that's a big change. And these bikes handle different and they feel different, and so yeah, he's probably just trying to find like how to use the track, how to use that weight of the motorcycle to his advantage, and what doesn't work, what he can and can't do. So he's probably really just moving around, trying to find fast lines and just learn on the weekend.
Taking a look now, we got a group of riders together. White flag is waving, so 1 lap left to go for Corey West as he makes his way across the line. And 1 more lap to try to get some things figured out. Got to think he's going to be pretty satisfied with the performance, and got to think that entire Alloy Art team and Vincent himself going to be pretty satisfied, as trying to take a look at exactly who we've got on screen here. That is the number 11. Of Wilson making his way through. Yep.
He's making way through some lap traffic there. I didn't pick up the number on that lap rider. I'm not sure who that was. But, yeah, Vincent looks like he's starting to make his way through the pack now.
And taking a look, it does look like we've maybe had a change-up here in our top 5. Brian Wamick now being shown in that 5th place position. So some moves there for the 316 machine. Moving up into that top 5, I believe, on my charts, I believe Brian was 5th in qualifying as well, so definitely Obviously, like we said, the qualifying doesn't tell the whole story, but it does kind of set the benchmark. And the fastest qualifier going to grab the race win. Corey West aboard the number 13, going to get the job done in dominating fashion here in the DP Brakes liquid-cooled twins class.
Little victory celebration wheelie there from Corey. Just shows that he's really comfortable on that motorcycle and having fun out there at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. I can almost see the smile underneath the helmet. A very impressive performance, definitely wheelie-worthy, if you will. And it just goes to shows how comfortable the guy is on the bike. Look at that. He's probably 80, 90 miles an hour picking the front wheel up. Impressive. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, as the rest of the field crosses the finish line here with the checkered flag. And great race, good racing. Corey did his thing. Corey West did Corey West. And he just went out and charged forward and jump into a replay here.
So taking a look from the gate drop, he was doing wheelies before the checker flag even flew. Corey West getting a great jump out of the line and a great opportunity for Vincent Wilson to do some studying. Maybe has the pen and paper out, maybe not. I guess he was a little busy, but there for the first lap or so, he definitely had West in sight. And I think that's got to attribute a little bit to the speed that we saw. Maybe getting comfortable saying, hey, okay, this guy's able to do this. I'm going to see if I can build up to that as well, because he maintained relatively no competition for the second place spot. Wasn't able to run the pace for the entire duration of the race of Corey West, but Vincent Wilson, there you see him on the screen comfortably in that second place spot. It's the 108 of Gilbert Conde in the third place position. And then we had Jake McGuire battling things out as well towards the backside of the top five. Brandon Quaid, like we were talking about, a man that a dealer and a racer all in one, was holding on to that top five spot. Going to have to wait till we get the official top 10 to find out whether or not it was Quaid or Wamick that were going to round out the top five. But no question about it, when the checker flag came down, it was the number 13 of Corey West taking the win in our DP Brakes Liquid Cooled Twins class. We're taking a look. Some fans got the lawn chairs out, got the Harleys parked, and they are enjoying a great weekend of racing here at Willow Springs, the finale weekend, and I can't really imagine any better place to close out the incredible season that we've had than right here at Willow Springs. Let's take a look at that Racer TV top 10 rundown. So it is Corey West, Vincent Wilson, Gilbert Conde, Jake McGuire, Brian Wamick, your top five. It looks like it's going to be Joseph Gale, Ed Milich, Brandon Quaid, Gary Thompson, and Lenny Howard rounding out your top 10 out of that liquid-cooled and air-cooled twins class, brought to you by our friends over at DP Brakes. So we're going to let these riders make their way around the course here on the cool-down lap and get our next group of riders loaded up. While we do that, we're going to get a word from our fantastic sponsors, and then we will be back racing with our Zippers, American Twins Unlimited, our lightweight Superbike, next generation Superbikes, and our open two-stroke class. Take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the 2024 Track Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to beautiful Rosamond, California, here at Willow Springs Raceway for the season finale weekend of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. It's round 5 of 6 here today, and we have got a championship battle on our hands in the Zippers American Twins Unlimited class. We were able to catch up with our current points leader, Carl Schlacht, and talk a little bit about the pressure he's feeling and if he's ready to do battle this weekend at Willow Springs.
All right, we're here with Carl Schlacht, Speed Farm Racing. Carl, this is your first season out in the Super Street class. Talk to us a little bit about how your season's going.
Yeah, really excited to be here at Willow Springs for the finals. Came from the East Coast out. I want to thank everyone who helped us get out here. And yeah, the Super Street class is really cool. My first year racing, road racing, come from motocross, supercross background. And the bike was really fun to build. You know, we're always making improvements. I'm always fine-tuning some things, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of horsepower, heavy bike. And the Super Street class, it's got some tough competition, so we're looking to finish out the season hopefully on the podium and have a lot of fun while we're doing it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to kind of see this bike evolve over the this year and kind of see you step it up and watch you build it and improve your skills out on the course. Talk to us a little bit about what it takes to get this bike to its current condition.
Absolutely. You start off with either a road glide or a street glide, twin cam or M8. They're both great, and you want to get it up off the ground so we don't drag the exhaust, the pegs. We're also going to do some mid controls for the Super Street class, and limited on engine size, but definitely some good brakes and some suspension. Other than that, there's not too much you have to do to these bikes where you can come and compete in that class. So I'm happy to see some new racers here and see their cool bikes, and I've seen a few evolve from the last race. So it's really neat to be a part of this whole deal.
It has been a great evolution of the sport, and the Super Street class is just, added to that. So we look forward to seeing you out on the track. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Tony. Can't wait.
Carl doing a great job, and here we go. Actually, look at that green flag, quicker than we expected. It is race time here for our lightweight Superbike, our next generation Superbike, open two-stroke, and then, of course, that Zippers Performance Products ATU American Twins Unlimited class. We got racing on our hands, and look at, we got 4 or 5 riders all in the same corner at the same time. Couldn't quite tell who that was that got the early race lead. Tony, were you able to catch an eye on it?
I believe, I don't see it on my grid sheet, but I thought it was the number 11 of Vincent Wilson there. If so, he's running back-to-back classes here on that Harley Pan America.
Yeah, I do show Vincent on my chart here, and he was on the 4th row as far as the starting grid goes. So possibly maybe a late entry, not sure exactly how that happened, but nonetheless, Vincent finds himself out front. Talking about trying to get some experience, he's getting some leading experience right now out front.
Definitely, if he came from back row and he's already stretching out a lead, that's very impressive. This is a very mixed bag class. We got a lot of different motorcycles out there right now. I mean, lightweight superbikes, next-gen superbikes, our own ATU, which is an unlimited class, so you're going to see a few Harleys out there, baggers, Softails, and probably even a couple of Buells out there today.
So taking a look, wow, Wilson already stretching out a lead, but things are far from stretched out for the second place spot. Those two riders doing battle. We're going to try to get you the names on them as they come across time and scoring, but look at that in the full tuck position, trying to be as aerodynamic as possible. Believe that is the 108 of Gilbert Kahn, another back-to-back race, if I'm not mistaken, currently sitting in the second place spot and trying to get a number on who that rider is in third, putting the pressure down. But right now, Kahn actually stretching out just a little bit, possibly.
I think that's the 74 of Frank Sinderman.
I believe you're right, Tony.
Yeah, he was sitting P1. He was on the front row of the grid, and currently sitting in third place. And it looks like Vincent Wilson's just going to check out. Gilbert Conti's going to maybe try and hold down that second place position.
Yeah, an impressive performance already here with 1 lap in the books from Wilson. And you talked about it, a little bit of a mix as far as the type of bikes, the styles and stuff like that. But I think that adds a whole nother level of excitement. You've got some different variables. Obviously, certain kinds of bikes have maybe benefits and drawbacks compared to others. And we get to give them an opportunity to compete head-to-head in our variety of classes here at BRL.
Yeah, I always enjoy seeing these mixed classes and seeing how some of these bikes stack up against each other. Particularly some of the, more purpose-built superbikes compared to, the Harley Pan America, or even, a bagger like Carl Schlock is on out there. And just kind of seeing what kind of lap times and what they do when they're on the track at the same time.
Look at that, all by his lonesome, making his way down the front straightaway. Vincent Wilson on the number 11. Got to be feeling good so far. And then Gilbert Condi on 108, able to open up maybe a second or so in that second place spot. Definitely doesn't have or has the ability to kind of take the lines that he wants, not worried about protecting those insides. And then, like you said, the 74 of Sinderman right now holding on to the final podium spot. And I believe he had a decent little gap there on fourth place as well. So already starting to see your top five spreading out.
Yeah, for sure. I think Vincent, is on a very capable motorcycle. That Pan America is actually, that thing's like 150 horsepower off the showroom floor. They go and they strip a bunch of weight off of it, put road racing tires on it, 17-inch wheels, and it's kind of become a very formidable road racing motorcycle that was never built. The Pan America on the showroom floor is an adventure bike. It comes with on-off-road tires, luggage on the back, big fairing, tall handlebars. And really it can be transformed into a very capable road course bike.
Yeah, whether you're wanting to just go for a cruise or whether you're wanting to take home a win, that bike's able to get the job done. Now, we do have our top five up at the top of your screen. It is Wilson, Condi, and Sinderman, your top three. Jamie Hansen in the fourth place spot. And Jamie Hansen is a multi-time winner throughout this season. So that just shows the level of competition out here this weekend at Willow Springs. And then Brian Wamick, I believe, another rider with a back-to-back race. So these guys are absolute warriors. They've clearly been putting the time in off the machine, got the fitness where they want it, and they're able to put it to good use right now.
Yeah, I believe Jamie Hansen, he traveled out a long ways. He's been with us the entire Bagger Racing League series here this year. And he wanted to come out and finish it off with us here at Willow Springs in California. Jamie, I believe he's riding an SV650. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry, Jamie, if I get that wrong. But, he's been running in our next-gen Superbike class this year. And, had some really great results in his class and came out here to kind of finish off the season.
It looks like Wamick able to make the pass now, so that puts Hansen back in the fifth place position. And like we said, the level of competition consistently growing. I think the buzz itself consistently growing about the Bagger Racing League. And we talk about it all season long, Tony. When you have riders that come across the finish line, and obviously the winners, they've got a smile on their face. They're happy they did what they wanted to do. But when the riders that don't even make the top five are coming off the track and they're saying, "Man, this is so much fun. This is just what I want to do." They're traveling across the country, like you said. Jamie making quite the trip all the way out to the West Coast to be able to be with us and complete the full season. It just really shows how much these riders appreciate what the Battle of the Baggers and the BRL crew has been able to do to give them an opportunity to race these machines at legendary locations like we have here at Willow Springs.
Yeah, I think, for a lot of these guys, they may travel, but yeah, just racing at a place like Willow Springs, a historic track, an old track that's had so many different motorcycle racers and car racers, spin laps around this place, and the opportunity to just get out there and race a historic raceway is worth that cross-country trip for guys like Jamie Hansen.
And the level of competition, or I don't even want to say just the level, but the way these riders deal with one another is that we see about halfway through this race. It just goes to show that there's a ton of respect between these racers. They all know they're here to have a good time. Obviously, they want to do as well as possible, but you're not really seeing a lot of tempers flaring. You're not seeing any bad blood between these riders. They're shaking hands. They're high-fiving beforehand. And even after the races, when they're in a tough battle, we saw that earlier with Cody Gilmore. Beats the guy by less than the bike length, and the first thing he does is turn around, get the dude a fist pump and a thumbs up. Everybody supporting everybody, riders supporting riders, and everybody helping us support that Bagger Racing League.
Yeah, the battle on screen here, I believe, is between Brian Wamick and Jamie Hansen right here. Brian was able to overtake Jamie. Jamie looking to go inside. Brian kind of had a weird outside line there. That was kind of weird, but kind of almost gave it up to Jamie. But we'll see if Brian can battle back here.
Trying to see. I thought I saw Brian maybe take the left hand off the bike for just a second. So possibly maybe having an issue, adjusting a clutch or something like that. But yes, nonetheless, we did see Jamie Hansen take the pass up the inside and now finds himself back in the fourth place spot. We're going to stick with this battle on screen. These two bikes probably the closest two together, and this is for that fourth place position. There you see Hansen more towards the center of the track, and it still looks like Whammock kind of taking those outsides. You see, great shot right there, showing just how much he was able to close the gap up, looking to try to take the long way around here in this corner. Not quite sure he's close enough yet, Tony.
Yeah, I don't think he is quite yet. Well, oh,
whoa.
That looks like Brian. Man, hats off to him with a little off-road excursion there. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat there. Man, Brian, hats off for that save and back back into race pace there.
You probably can see it better than I can, Tony, but I don't think the throttle hand even cracked. I think he kept that thing pointed forward.
I think he stayed in the throttle there. Wow. Hats off to Brian there. And I believe Brian's riding a Buell, if I remember right, when I saw his bike in the pits earlier this weekend. And it's kind of interesting to see this kind of American V-twin Buell versus this Suzuki V-twin SV650 out there kind of just battling back and forth. Kind of a fun thing to watch, these two unique, different motorcycles just battle back and forth. So we got white flag. You got one to go here.
White flag coming out for Vincent Wilson, trying to bring home what would be his first win here in the Bagger Racing League. Connie in the second place spot, and Centerman there in third, trying to chase him down. We see the battle on screen starting to make their way around a little bit of lap traffic, as I believe that is Wilson trying to find his way around the number 8 of Carl Schlack, who we heard from a little bit earlier out of that ATU class. Takes the long way around and is able to get right back into that race line, opens the machine up.
Yeah, Vincent with just a good, clean pass around Carl. Just got to, find your way around these lappers, but don't give up too much time. Fortunate for Vincent, he's got a little bit of time he can spare if he does get held up. He's got a pretty sizable lead there. So, but still, none the other. He was able to get around him and charge forward and looking to bring home that checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be pumped about that. Feeling good, and like you said, a very aware racer as well. Knew he had a little bit of gap between himself and second place. Maybe didn't take the preferred line around the outside of Schlack there, but nonetheless checked up a little bit, maybe lost half a second or so, if that, and was able to get right back to work as he is now in the closing stages, just a couple of corners away from trying to bring home a checkered flag.
Here he is, rounding turn 9 onto the home stretch here. All that's left is about quarter mile of wide open throttle.
Leaves the throttle open. Maybe a little thumbs up to the fans, and there it is. Vincent Wilson going to grab the win here out of your combined classes with lightweight Superbike, next gen Superbike, ATU, and the open two-stroke class out there. Takes a little look over the shoulder. And an impressive performance for the number 11. Not to mention that was a back-to-back race, Tony. So got to have some serious fitness to be able to do that back-to-back.
Definitely, fitness was on point there. And congratulations to the Alloy Art team. They've had a lot of struggles this season, so I know they'll be happy to be on the podium this weekend with Vincent Wilson and their Pan America.
So taking a look now at our Alpine Stars Rapid Replay. This was the battle. It was the 74 of Frank Sinderman who had the early race lead, but almost immediately we saw the number 11 of Vincent Wilson make the pass up the inside, and that was all she wrote from the front of the field. The number 11 set sail out front. Here is the battle on screen for that second place spot between Gilbert Conde and Sinderman. They both maintained those second and third place spots. We did see them what looked to be a little flip-flop of the positions for just a second, but Conde able to hang on for the number 2 position, with Sinderman rounding out the podium. And then things were just as hot between 4th and 5th place as well. Jamie Hansen, who we've seen battling for leads, was just trying to hang on to a top 5 finish, and definitely wanted to be in the 4th place spot as he went back and forth. There you see it on screen towards the backside of your screen with Hansen putting in some serious work up against Whammock, and these guys took it all the way down to the wire. There you see Hansen has the position right now, following along with our 3rd place rider. There's Hansen. Got the position for now. Whammock around the outside, leaves the throttle wide open. closes that gap up, and we said, I don't know if he's quite close enough. Then we thought maybe he is. Then he said, hang on a second, I think might take a little detour off track. I believe this is the corner right there, trying to find a way around the outside, and then hang on. Going to have to check the leathers after that one. Kept the throttle wide open, got it back on track, but I do think that maybe startled him just a little bit, and rightfully so. Got us up out of our seats as well. He's going to settle in that 5th place position, but this guy right here, no problems, smooth sailing, as it will be the number 11 of Vincent Wilson grabbing the win. Taking a look now. Look at the fans that we've got here hanging out as we take a look at our top 10 rundown. So it is Vincent Wilson, Gilbert Conde, Frank Sinderman, and Jamie Hansen. And then Brian Wamick rounding out your top 5. Carl Schlacht in that 6th place position with Thomas Nichols, Gary Thompson, Arnie Wells, and Darren Galvin, your top 10. Here out of that ATU lightweight Superbike, unlimited Superbike, and open 2-stroke classes. We're going to catch a break here and talk to our sponsors, and then when we come back, we've got our Classic Superbike class lining up on the grid. This is the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17-inch configuration. Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round 5 of 6 for the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Zach Herron and Tony Tucker up here in the booth in the Tucker Speed Studio. We've got our Classic Superbike class making their way towards the grid, getting ready to do battle, and we were able to catch up with one of our Classic Superbike racers, the 45 machine of Ed Hazer.
Fresh off the racetrack, just came in from practice. I have the pleasure of speaking to Ed
Hazer. Ed Hazer.
Now, would that be a Dutch name, Ed?
That is a Dutch name, yes.
Because one of the things I noticed on your bike was the Nico Bakker sticker. And I don't know, you have to be a purist to know who Nico Bakker is, I think. But
he still makes stuff even today.
Well, tell me a little bit about Vintage Superbike, right?
Vintage Superbike. Well, I used to race with AFM, or still do. And the vintage class at that time had a cutoff of 74, and the bike I started racing with was a 75. So I was always running in a class called Super Dyno with them, which was anything after that up until I think initially it was like 1985. And then they kept, like, when less people started showing up, they were going to like 86, 87. Now it's like 2000 or even newer, I think. So, but still can be competitive on this bike in that class. I can still sometimes podium.
So this is. Now, tell us a little bit about the motorcycle. I'm actually got a Bakker swing arm, but this would be, in the day, this would be classified as a superbike. Is that correct?
Yeah, this was the superbike of the late 70s, early 80s. That was these guys.
This was Eddie Lawson and Wayne Rainey.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same era. This is a 79. Lawson was, I think, like an 82 or so, but basically very similar bikes.
So you're just kind of, well, you're still an active racer. Can't say this you're reliving memories, but because you're still an active racer. It's really great to have you out here at BRL.
I'm actually, I have a hard time giving up the racing. I just, like, I love these bikes. I love this time period. and I just having still so much fun because you can still do pretty good even against newer bikes. Of course, a really competent racer on a newer bike is going to be too fast, but the average rider, I can still keep up with him.
Ed, all the best this weekend. Great to have you guys out here for BRL.
Thank you.
So awesome to catch up with Ed there. And green flag is flying. Great stuff from Larry. And, looks like one rider having some issues and possibly going to have to push that machine off. Definitely not the start that they were looking for. And Ed Hazer, I apologize for mispronouncing that. So definitely excited to see what Ed's able to do. And he's sitting at about a second-place start, it looks like, right now. Guys, we've got some great racing already here in the Classic Superbike.
Definitely. Larry back in the booth here with us. Larry, welcome back. Talk to us a little bit about vintage motorcycles.
Eddie Lawson, Wayne Rainey, Kevin Schwantz, the Cowhorn handlebars, Superbikes, if you will, and the great factory wars of the 70s and the 80s of the factory Kawasaki's of Muzzi's, the Hondas, the Suzuki's, of course, of Yoshimura. That's what the vintage Superbike class brings back to the racetrack today. And it'd be interesting to compare some of these times, these lap times, to some of the V-twin.
Modern, or even the V-twins, definitely.
Yeah, right, because talking to Ed yesterday, as he was saying, he said, he can stay up with some of these modern motorcycles. So, I mean, the wisdom in the old days was that these weren't that great of a handling motorcycle. Mm-hmm. It kind of depends on who you talk to. Some people say they handle okay. However, on the level in the day at Laguna Seca, I used to announce at Laguna Seca. I was the voice of the corkscrew for many years.
Okay.
And watching these guys come through on Superbikes in the day was really something. I mean, big wide handlebars, major modifications to the frames of these bikes. It was pretty wide open back then to get them to handle correctly, and it really made riders aware of their motorcycle, aware of the handling, and so many of those riders made the next step over to GP.
Okay.
Schwantz, Chandler, Lawson, of course, and Rainey, they all started on these big Superbikes like this. And it makes for some really interesting racing, and it's really good to see that they're still around so that we don't kind of forget our roots.
Sure.
Because this does take us back to our roots.
Definitely. It appears, though, that we got the number 10 of Mark Miller out front. Maybe a good battle for second and third. A little further back, Mark's got a comfortable lead, it looks like, and a battle for second place kind of setting up on track as they turn down turn 9 onto the front stretch.
A level of experience here with Mark Miller. I think he's done the TT, the Macau Grand Prix, AFM. I mean, Miller has really done it all. And if anybody can handle one of these and has a lot of experience on one of these Superbikes, it's Mark Miller.
Okay.
So Miller right now stretching that gap out. Not running away with it quite yet, but definitely has opened the gap back up. And then, like you said, there you see at the top of the screen the battle for second place. Great overhead shot here from our drone operator. And see first place stretching out just a little bit, but things on the opposite side closing up for the battle for second and third. See if we can get there it is, the two riders right now. That Ed Hazer still has the position, but for how long? There it is, the 43 makes the mark and moves up the inside. Going to find his way around.
And that number 43 bike, I had an opportunity to talk to the rider. That is a Mike Baldwin tribute bike. Mike Baldwin, of course, a Honda factory rider in the day on these bikes. Another note would be interesting. It's another interesting thing that is to see the old Superbikes here at Willow Springs. Willow Springs Motorcycle Club at one time had a wide open run what you brung Superbike class. I mean, we're talking nitrous, I mean,
wow.
these guys.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. Scott Gray is the name that pops to mind. They had these unbelievable horsepower in these arguably ill-handling motorcycles, and it was really something to see.
Yeah, still a good battle here for second in the 43 and the 45 here, as the number 10 of Mark Miller is kind of left them in the distance, but these guys are still within striking distance here. Ed could still make some moves here. These are old guys, so no offense, Larry, but what's their conditioning like?
The conditioning, well, these are older guys that are on these bikes for the most part, from what I've seen talking to them and seeing them in the pit area. So they're in probably as good a condition as an older guy can be.
All right.
And it depends on how serious you take it. Now, Ed, who we talked to earlier with the Kawasaki, races regularly with AFM.
Okay.
So I would say he's probably in pretty darn good shape.
Probably in better shape than I am.
Absolutely better than I am.
Yeah, it's fun to see, and these guys still just out here having a good time on these older bikes. I mean, a lot of these guys are older in years themselves, and they're just still out here having a good time. Like, you had that conversation with Ed, just out here still chasing it and having a hard time hanging up the leathers, but obviously doing a great job. He's still very fast and very confident on that KZ1000.
So many of these guys, they're to a certain degree reliving some old memories, but a lot of these guys, these are motorcycles that they admired and they wanted when they were kids and maybe didn't do it. So later on, now that things are settled down a little bit, they're building them and bringing them back and doing the tribute motorcycle like the Baldwin or the Lawson or whoever. Very common when you go to motorcycle shows that feature vintage motorcycles or era motorcycles, you'll see the replicas, that the homage to their particular hero, whoever
Sure.
that may be, Spencer or Roberts or whoever. Now, Roberts, interestingly enough, did not ride these motorcycles.
Oh, really?
No, he
just went straight to a GP bike.
He was on road racers. He was, we went from dirt track to 250s, 350s, and then to 700, and then he went to GP bikes. He didn't have nice things to say about these motorcycles because he was a purist and a pure road racer.
Sure.
It had to be, interestingly enough. But so many of our riders who went on to be, like I said, world champions, did cut their teeth with these motorcycles.
Sure, as we see the number 10 still just way out front. He's got things under control. Mark Miller, the number 10 here. That battle for second starting to cool off as looks like the 43's got it under control. Ed kind of just settling into third place here as they come down the front stretch. And we're taking a white flag here. Got one to go for these guys.
Yeah, like you said, Mark Miller continuing to stretch things out. This will give us an opportunity to check out second and third as they come across the line. There you see Miller making his way here out of turn number one. And at this point, it's just hitting your marks, Tony. We talk about it all the time. You see the white flag and that last lap. Just looking at Mark's lap times from qualifying, it ran about 1 minute and 30. It's probably going to be the longest 1 minute and 30 of his life.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to lose focus. It's the last lap. Don't make a mistake now. Just eyes forward, eyes on your preferred line, and just do it like you've done 5 times before and bring it home.
Not surprising to see Miller out in front because just literally a world of experience with that Mark has had on different tracks around the world. So yeah, but it's great to see him out here competing in the BRL and bringing some of these memories out here onto the racetrack.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, I'm a history buff. I love the history of all things, but especially motorcycling. And so to see these guys out here, see these motorcycles out here, it's just really great to see. Walk around the pits and see all these vintage motorcycles. It's really a treat out here in the unique part of the Bagger Racing League.
Absolutely, and kudos to the Bagger Racing League for bringing these motorcycles out for everyone to see.
Sure.
Well, and I think one of the things that's just as cool as watching these riders race these machines is how excited they get to tell people about them, right? They don't only just like riding them, they like giving the story and telling everybody exactly what went into it. As there we see Mark Miller taking the checkered flag and taking the win. He's going to have an extra story to tell, saying, hey, this bike doesn't just represent another bike. It's a winning machine here at the Bagger Racing League.
Yeah, great ride by Mark. Hats off to him for, keeping an old motorcycle tuned in, dialed in, and still clicking off lap times out here in Willow Springs.
Great to see these bikes again at Willow Springs. Like I say, this particular motorcycles, or this class, has got a very deep history here at Willow Springs.
Very neat.
So let's take a look at your Alpine Stars race rapid replay. Like we said, one of those riders not having the start that they were hoping for, having to push that machine off, but up at the front of the field almost immediately we saw Miller close the door and move into the number 1 position as they exited turn 1, and almost immediately put a couple of bike lengths between himself and second place. Ed Hauser was holding on to that second place spot for quite a while, but he had a fight on his hands, as I believe that was Darren Galvin in the third place position that would later make the pass and bring home a second place on the day. There you see the gap opening up. There is the 43 machine of Galvin with Hauser just behind. And these guys stayed relatively close for the majority of the race. There you see making their way around turn 4, able to keep each other in sight as they came through. And this was arguably one of the closer battles that we had on the course here for this classic Superbike. And history versus history out here, right, Larry?
Absolutely. History. Well, I wouldn't say history being made. It's history being revisited, and it's great to see them. Really a lot of fun. Love to see more of them.
Without a doubt, and I hope that we do. I think it's definitely something that is attracting the interest of a lot of different people, because not only is it an opportunity to show off your machine, but to show what it's capable of as well. And Mark Miller certainly doing just that as he brings home the race win here in our Classic Superbike. Let's take a look at our top 10. So it is Mark Miller topping the board with Darren Galvin. Hans Helfrich looking like he's making a pass for the third place spot, possibly on that last lap, with Ed Hauser and Ed Milch rounding out the top 5. Brian Wanick just behind them. And so that top 5 are really impressive with Miller, Galvin, and then Helfrich coming out of nowhere there late in the race, making a charge and making that pass for the third place position here in our Classic Superbike. And we're going to get ready to load the gate for our Bagger GP, the main event, if you will. But first, we're going to get a word from our sponsors. We'll get all of our top riders locked, loaded on the starting grid. And when we come back, we'll get ready to drop the flag for our Bagger GP class. This is round 5, the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers.
Hello, friends. This is Ruben Zaus. You're watching BRL on Race TV.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17-inch configuration. The Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, round 5 of 6. That's right, folks. It's finale weekend as we've got a doubleheader event here in Willow Springs, a legendary location for some legendary racing, and we are getting ready for the main event of the afternoon. our Bagger GP class. I mean, so many big names lining up for this, so many exciting people to watch, but the man who has been unstoppable so far in the Andrews Bagger GP class this year is none other than Ruben Zaus. Let's see if we can talk to the 111.
All right, we are here with the number 111, Ruben Zaus. Ruben, you guys have been overcoming some challenges with the motorcycle, going racing now. Tell us a little bit about how you're feeling this weekend.
I feel good. I mean, I came here. I know that's our home track. You know, the team is just based here in Mojave, 20 minutes from here. We came here for the first time last year. The bike is completely another history. We developed the bike quite good together with the team. My advices, their advices. They heard me. They listened to me. They tried to support me. And then today we came here with the incredible sun, weather. It's cold, but at the end, if we have everything set up, things are going good.
We got a couple of new bikes in the Bagger GP class that might be challenging. What are you expecting to have with Shane Narbonne and Corey West? I'm hoping to see a good battle.
No, it's good. I'm happy that they're here. I mean, that proves that the Bagger Racing League is getting more important all the time. As I said, we are focusing ourselves to do what we need to do. Today we've done a really good job during the practices. The bike is working very well. Setup is good. We improve quite a lot from last time here. We've got a little bit of drama because we've got a problem with the oil filter that they jump off because got loose. We don't know how much. And in slowing up, lucky that slowing up on the turn 5 or 4. I saw the bike exploding with oil. I saw the oil. I controlled the bike as I could. And when I locked the handlebar, just flipped to the right side with a really lucky situation because the bike got no damage at all. It's just only a shower of oil everywhere. But it's good that it happened today because there's no points. This happens. That's racing. We bring those bikes to the limit. And it's good for tomorrow. I mean, knowing that what we need to set up and be ready for a race. I mean, it was a good season. Having those boys here is good, and that shows the potential of the championship.
Well, we're excited. We're happy that you're able to get the bike back out on the track and go racing. We're excited to see you there. Thank you for your time, Ruben.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I'm enjoying the series so much. I'm enjoying the category. When I jumped the first time here last year, I said, what am I doing here? And today that seems to be incredible, bigger and bigger, over through the worldwide. I mean, next Monday, Harley Factory is testing in Barcelona for MotoGP with a couple of boys. That means that they want a point on it. I'm pushing hard in Europe. That's bringing the series towards to the other side of the world, and that's good for everybody, for us, for everybody.
Thank you, Ruben Zaus, the number 111. Thanks for all you're doing for growing bagger racing on a world level. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool to hear there from Ruben. Not only is he a class act as far as an athlete goes, but he is an advocate here for the Bagger Racing League, helping not only spread the word, but to talk to people not only just in America, but overseas and around the world as well. Now, Tony, I was not able to see it yesterday in person. We talked about Ruben going down. You were there, able to see it. Talk a little bit about what you saw, what the bike looked like, and whether or not you think that's going to affect Ruben coming up here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of an uncharacteristic thing with Ruben. Obviously, we've seen that he's very skilled on the motorcycle, and we don't see very many mistakes. So when we saw him go off track and have a little bit of a spill, we were all kind of scratching our heads. And come to find out, what happened is it was actually a bike malfunction that he had an oil leak that happened. It oiled down the track. It oiled his tires. And he tried his best to keep it on two wheels, but you see a little bit there, he's got some light cosmetic damage on the fairing and the saddlebag. And, you see the team scrambling there to get all that oil cleaned up and everything taken care of. And, Ruben's got enough experience, out here. He's got enough under his belt. He went out in practice and qualifying today and still ran just as fast as he was yesterday. So it doesn't seem as though it affected him. And, so yeah, the team scrambled. You can see, actually you can see on screen there that kind of white mark across the line or across the racetrack there. That's where Ruben kind of oiled down the track and kind of where he ended up there off the track. So, the track crew did a great job getting all that oil cleaned up. That's a little bit of oil dry that you still see there. And, I've seen that oil dry kind of kicking up underneath some of the bikes here today. And, as a rider, that's a little bit unnerving at times to kind of lean into the corner when you're going into that oil dry. There's traction there, but, it questions, you have questions about the confidence of the racetrack at that point. So it has played a factor here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting because not only do we have maybe some uncharacteristic things happening for Ruben, obviously, like you said, going down, having some mistakes there in qualifying or in practice yesterday. He finds himself not in the number one qualifying position, but he has some new competition or maybe some not so new competition. We have our reigning champion from the Bagger GP class, the number one of Shane Narbonne, back with us, ready to do battle, and we were able to catch up with the reigning champ.
All right, we're here with Shane Narbonne, the Trask 186, our reigning champion. You guys have kind of taken a break where Trask has been moving locations and everything, but we're really excited to see you back out here. How does it feel to be back on the bike this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank the whole crew, Nick and the Trask guys for doing this. It's a lot of money, a lot of time, and they got a lot going back home, so I appreciate that. But I haven't been on a bike since June, so I've done 5 laps today, and I feel good, so it should be a good weekend.
We're really looking forward to the battle with you and Ruben and Corey. What's your expectations on the weekend?
Of course, slowly get up to speed. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better with this wind tomorrow and Sunday. But, it's going to be a dogfight. That's what we're here for, A good race, good, clean race. And, we won it here last year, so hopefully we're going to do it again.
Right on. Shane Narbonne, number 186, Trask Road Glide. Thanks for your time, Shane.
Thank you.
So how about that? We've got, looks like the Bagger GP headed out on their site lap. But like you said, the confidence that comes with not only being the number one and being the reigning champ, but like you said, he got the win here last year. Definitely somebody to look out for. He did qualify in that third place position with a 129.1. Ruben Zaus was in that second place spot with a 128.4. But the person sitting on pole position right now is the lucky 13 of Corey West with a 127. Let's hear from your top qualifier.
Corey West, Team Saddleman. You've been on a hiatus with the BRL. You've been chasing other championships. It's good to see you back here in our pits. Tell us what you got back here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. First and foremost, Saddleman guys decided that we were going to do this last round here at Willow, so kind of using it as a test. We've changed some things up on our Pan Americas, so got a few special parts that we're trying, and then brought the old bagger out for this weekend too. So, yeah, just here to have some fun.
Yeah, we're really excited to see you out here on track and see what kind of speeds you guys have. We're really, anticipating some fast speeds. I also hear you're a new dad. Tell us how that's going.
Yeah, man. Had a baby right after the last round at COTA for Moto America, and he's like 7 weeks old. So it's been full-on dad mode for me. So I've been a little bit checked out since the season ended, but it's good to throw a leg over a bike again and get out here and cut some laps with the boys. So, just happy to be here and trying to stay warm.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little cold and windy out.
So here we see your Bagger GP class starting to make their way towards the starting grid. I believe that's Sam Guerin there doing the back and forth, really trying to warm that tire up on all sides. I saw some of the riders getting the brakes warmed up as well. So this is going to be serious, Tony. I'm really excited for this one. This Andrews Bagger GP, Corey West, Ruben Zaus, Shane Narbonne, and Sam Guerin. Your top 4, all of them, we got 127, 128, 129, and 130 on the lap times. This has got the potential to be really exciting.
It does. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot going on here. It's going to be a great race. But before we get started, I got to throw a shout-out to our good friend Paula Fox, who couldn't join us here this weekend. Paula, thanks for all you do. We miss seeing you around the races. Hopefully we'll see you at the first round in 2025. Thank you again, Paula Fox.
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely a huge part of the entire Bagger Racing League and the BRL family. So can't wait to see her again next year as we've got the grid just about loaded, which means it is time. Here we go. Green flag getting ready to go behind the back. Couple of deep breaths. The Andrews Bagger GP class on the line. 8 laps of battles. And here we go. Green flag is waving, and look at the drive. Front wheel up from the 111. It's a drag race into turn 1, Tony.
Ruben being first into turn 1. He doesn't want to let the guys get out front, but Corey trying to make good work of him. He's got the inside line here. Oh, wow. Ruben really leaning into Corey there.
Wow, look at that. Zaus knows exactly how important it is to get up front, but Corey West not phased right now by the 111. Still running that inside line. We'll see who's going to come out on top. I believe Zaus was able to hang on to the position, but hold on, folks. It's not over quite yet. We've already got a pass for the lead as now. Corey West, your fastest qualifier, finds himself in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be the race of the season right here. We got a 4-way battle for the top 3 spots on the podium here. Corey West starting to make a little bit of headway there. He's got a little bit of a gap over Ruben. I believe we have Shane Narbonne right there in 3rd, and Sam Guerin sitting in 4th place.
So how about it? 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in the same corner at the same time. Look at this. Incredible. I'm impressed. Corey West stretching it out right now by a couple of bike lengths. That is unseen so far in the 2024 season. Ruben Zaus almost has always found himself in the number 1 spot by at least the 2nd turn. Now, a little bit of new territory. You got to think, Tony, with things not quite going his way yesterday, not on the pole, and now watching another rider pull away from him. This is a new territory right now for Ruben here in the BRL.
This definitely is, and it'll be interesting to see how Ruben kind of steps up and kind of how he manages this, as Sam is right on the back tire of Ruben there.
How about that? Sam Guerin stepping up to the plate here. Look at this, trying to take the long way around, going to set him up for the inside here in this next corner, and Sam Guerin now makes the path for 2nd place. Ruben tries to tuck it back underneath.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling there, watching Ruben, that something might not be right there. I don't think that he's, kind of maybe firing on all cylinders, if you will. I think something might be happening with the motorcycle. This is very uncharacteristic of what we've seen Ruben doing all season long. As you see Corey wheeling up the hill there.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct, and Zaus actually kind of yielding there to Narbonne, so I think you might be onto something here, Tony. Not sure exactly what it is. I'm paying attention. Another little look over the shoulder from Ruben Zaus, so possibly some mechanical issues not allowing him to ride at 100%, but 100% out front and trying to check out is the 13 of Corey West. But how about it? Sam Guerin really trying to charge up. He wants to make this a fight for the lead.
Sam really stepping up. The original Garage Moto guys have really put their heads down, and we talked yesterday about they're really searching for horsepower, and they really want to try and find that extra 2 or 3 seconds a lap that they felt like they were lacking in rounds previous, and it looks as though they might have found them there. They're really charging hard, but Corey West here still with a commanding lead as he crosses the start-finish line.
Starting to see it looks like the reigning champ Shane Narbonne picking away at Sam Guerin's 2nd place lead. As we saw him close the gap up just a little bit down the front stretch, they exit turn 1, and Narbonne now within just a bike length or 2. Sam Guerin's got to know he's there. Kind of left the door open just a little bit. If Narbonne had been a little closer, we could have seen him try to make a move up the inside. But Shane staying patient right now, waiting for an opportunity to strike and make a pass for 2nd place.
Definitely, and Shane's got that Trask turbo underneath him. He's got the horsepower behind him, and he's going to look to capitalize on that. And he's inching forward here, looking inside, outside on Sam. This is a great battle for 2nd place.
Man, look at the lean that Sam Guerin has on that machine right there, absolutely laying it down. And you can see that they have stretched things out over the 111. So Zaus not in this battle right now, but this is the battle royale between Sam Guerin and Shane Narbonne. And you got to think there's a bit of a sense of urgency for both of these guys, because meanwhile, they're watching the number 13 of Corey West ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, for sure. And hats off to that team Saddleman. They've really got a good program going. They've got that bike really dialed in. And, Corey West is, kind of making a statement out here in the last 2 rounds here at Willow Springs with the Bagger Racing League.
So here we go, another lap. Trying to be put in the books. I don't think these guys have moved almost at all. Actually, no, I take it back. Narbonne has made the pass. So it was the same distance, but it's a new rider now in the 2nd place position as Shane Narbonne makes the pass stick and puts himself in the number 2 spot. Now he tries to set his sights on the number 1 spot, and possibly not sure if something's going on with Guerin. I'm seeing him take a couple of glances back.
Yeah, he kind of ran wide there in turn 1 and kind of looked back over his shoulder. I don't know if he's having an issue. Maybe he's going to try and figure out, like, can he bring home this third place? What kind of gap does he have over Ruben currently? But looking comfortable out front is Corey West. But Shane, I think Shane's going to try and make a charge forward.
Yeah, I think this is going to be exciting. 8 laps of racing here in this Andrews Bagger GP, so an extra lap to try to make something happen, which is definitely going to play into the hands of Narbonne. But if you're Corey West, you're like, come on, we couldn't have had a 7-lap race. So right now, West trying to check out, but Narbonne clicking away. Would love to, curious if I could see the lap times. It definitely looks like Narbonne just a little bit quicker, but the question is if it's enough to have that pass made by the time the checkered flag comes out.
Yeah, for sure. Shane is a racer, and obviously this is their, Shane said earlier in his interview, this is the first time out on the bike all year. So he might start to warm up and find that comfort zone here late in the race and try and make a charge and battle with Corey here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, is that Narbonne going to kind of start to get back into the groove, get back into the flow, if you will. This guy's flowing right now, though. Corey West taking a little look ahead, making sure he's got a clear track and making his way around, keeping the power to the ground and trying to keep himself out front.
Corey doing exactly what he should be doing. Just got that lead as we see Ruben there obviously having some more issues. He's checked up and getting lapped there. That's unfortunate for those guys. They've had a great season, an undefeated season up until today, but looks like that streak is going to end today.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough break. Sometimes, Lady Luck just isn't on your side and things don't go your way. So Ruben hopefully going to be able to regroup. The team going to be able to get that machine figured out, and he'll be able to line back up tomorrow, try to end the season on a high note. But right now, Corey West riding off from the rest of the field. It actually looks like he significantly opened that gap up over Narbonne. So I'll have to see exactly where Shane is at.
Sure, yeah, we just we can only see Corey on screen right now. It does look like Shane has dropped back quite a bit. I really hope that doesn't mean that Shane is also having issues, but these guys are pushing these baggers to the absolute limit. I've just seen Shane cross the start-finish line there, so he is still charging forward. It seems like under full power. I don't know if he maybe made a mistake there and just kind of gave up some time, or what went on there.
Well, and you touched on it, though, and great to hear that Shane is still racing and able to charge forward. But, people talk about it. I don't understand. How do they not have the bike figured out? This is new technology. This is a new era of racing. And so with new stuff comes trial and error. And for a lot of these riders, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it is working for the Lucky 13 of Corey West. But Ruben Zaus, who's had an undefeated season so far, today's just not his day.
Definitely not. Like I said, these guys are pushing these bikes to the limit. The only way this sport evolves is for these racers to go out and find those limits and then come back and have the teams figure out how to overcome those limits and go out and find the next limit. And that's kind of the way the sport will evolve and get faster and faster and better in years to come.
And Ruben even touched on it in his interview, the ability to have names like Corey West, like Shane Narbonne coming back and joining us. It just goes to show that the popularity, the notoriety of the Bagger Racing League is continuing to grow, and you got to think it's because of performances like this. These are big names. These are impressive groups that are backing these riders as well, and I think it piques the interest of the other races around the country and around the world.
Definitely, Ruben's doing a great job about, with growing bagger racing on a world level. He touched on it a little bit in his interview that Harley's doing an exhibition race with MotoGP in Barcelona this weekend, which just goes to show you the reaches of this sport. And the really cool part of it, and the reason I love being part of the BRL, is that it all started right here with Rob Bidos and the Bagger Racing League. This is where this sport started, and to see it happening in Spain and Indonesia, Thailand, and all places around the world, it's really fun to watch that evolution and see it grow on a world scale.
Without question, and you bring up a good point. Rocket Rob Bidas, obviously kind of the brain behind this, and this was his child, if you will, that he's fostered and nurtured, and it's got to be quite the vision. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot to be able to say, hey, what do you think about taking these machines, putting them on these courses, and letting them race? And so Rob doing a great job of not only getting riders interested in teams, but getting sponsors and manufacturers and vendors to jump on board. And then, you know, he was able to bring his vision to light. He said, I know if we can get these guys out here, we're going to be able to put on a good race, and then the rest of it will continue to kind of grow organically. So a huge props is taking a look. Was that a little look down from the 13? Did you see that, Tony?
I did see that. I'm not sure if that was a look down or a look back as Corey takes the white flag. I don't know if he was just checking to see what kind of gap he has. As we see Shane Narbonne crossing the start-finish line, followed closely by Sam Guerin there. And I kind of get the feeling that Corey might have just been like, how much room do I have to breathe here on this last lap?
Yeah, definitely don't, at least I don't expect this to be the fastest lap of the race right now. Not wanting to take any unnecessary risk, just wants to bring this thing home and grab the win. But I did notice that gap had closed back in between Sam Guerin and Shane Narbonne. So this is the opportunity. If you're Sam Guerin, got to maybe hope for a small mistake from Narbonne, and you got to have the lap of your life if you want to make a pass for second. And definitely taking a look back, really wants to find out where that competition is at, is the number 13 of Corey West.
Yeah, and I definitely think he's got it. As long as there's nothing wrong with the motorcycle, he's got this under control here. I think he's just kind of looking back, seeing how much breathing room he's got. And as he starts around turn 6, and he'll round the outside of the race course here and bring home the checkered flag.
So here it is, the number 13, Lucky 13, feeling lucky right now as he is just about one corner away from bringing home the Andrews Bagger GP win here from round number 5. One more corner, and now it's a straight shot. Leave that thing wide open. One more glance over the shoulder. And there it is, folks, the final checkered flag of the day. The number 13 of Corey West going to be the winner in your Bagger GP class.
Yeah, we see Corey on screen, but it does look as though Shane Narbonne crossed in second place and Sam Guerin not far behind in the third place position.
So a solid fight for our podium finish. Really wish we could have had Ruben at full capacity there for that entire one. But if that is not a reason, folks, for you to set the calendar, set the alarm, and be right back here with us tomorrow, I don't know what to tell you, because that was shaping up. We had some great racing. Let's take a look at that Alpine Stars rapid replay. It was Ruben Zaus with a sense of urgency, desperately fighting to try to get out front and lead the way. Corey West says, hang on, buddy, I want to be out front too. It looked like Zaus was going to maintain command of the lead, but Corey West running an aggressive line up the inside. Zaus tries to lean, put a little pressure on him. Corey West keeps the throttle on and was able to make the pass and get around the 111. Shortly after that, things did kind of start to go awry for Ruben Zaus, unfortunately. We saw him kind of check up, and what we thought might have something to do with the machine looked to be so. We do know that he completed the race, and we saw him continuing to circulate around the track, but was not able to maintain the speed and intensity that he needed to be competitive and to compete for a win. But we see right now, there was a little look to the bike, and he kind of just moves out of the race line, going to allow Sam Guerin to make his way around, and then shortly after, Shane Narbonne would find his way around the 111 as well. But the battles didn't stop there. Shane Narbonne and Sam Guerin between second and third. There you see Narbonne making his way around Zaus in that same exact little switchback. So Narbonne says, all right, I've got third, and now I want to try to chase down second place. And there it was. The pass was made up the inside around Sam Guerin after a pretty hard-fought battle for about a lap or so. And Narbonne really, he tried. He put the power to the ground, tried to chase down Corey West, but the damage was just about done by the time he puts himself in the second place spot. The number 13 able to breathe some clean air and bring this thing home for the Andrews Bagger GP win here at round number 5. Narbonne going to be in the second place position with Sam Guerin going to round out the podium. And there you saw the 111 of Ruben Zaus. No option but to watch the competition go by and to watch Corey West take the win here in your Bagger GP class. Like we said, hopefully Ruben is all right. We'll get the machine figured out, and he will line up to try to show these guys what he's made of tomorrow. But for right now, it is all the Big 13. A little look over the shoulder, wants to make sure he doesn't have any surprises coming towards him. And Corey West, one more time down the front stretch, and the final checkered flag of the day coming out for Corey West, your Andrews Bagger GP winner. So going to take a look now at your top 10 here from the Bagger GP class. And it sounds like we're actually gonna hang on to that top 10 and make sure we've got all of our scoring figured out. But once again, back here at Willow Springs tomorrow. So if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing today here on Racer TV, make sure you guys are following and subscribing as well. It helps us continue to be able to bring you top-notch coverage of all of the racing action, all racing all the time on Racer TV. And make sure you guys are following the Bagger Racing League along as well. That's at Bagger Racing League on all of our social medias. That way you guys can stay up to date on exactly where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, and you're going to figure out whether or not you've got a machine that you can come race with us on as well. Because if you do, and we've talked about it before, from the garage straight to the racetrack, you can do it right here at Bagger Racing League. And we want to see you out here. If you can make it tomorrow, we're racing tomorrow. But if not, go ahead and start making those plans to join us for the 2025 season. Man, I'm actually kind of blown away, Tony. That was a close race. Those first half a lap or so, that was set to be one of the tightest races that we've seen all season.
There was definitely a lot of excitement surrounding that race, and some new racers in the field today. And unfortunately, mechanicals, took out Ruben. It's an unfortunate thing, but that's just part of racing. Ruben having an undefeated season. And, kind of coming into round 5 with a DNF and with a mechanical, it's unfortunate. But, that fueling team, they're a great group of guys. I know they're going to go get to work, start rebuilding that bike, and getting ready for tomorrow.
Well, it sounds like before we get the podium celebrations kicked off, we're going to get another quick word from our sponsors. And when we come back, it's time to do some celebrating here from round 5 of the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. We'll be right back.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17 inch configuration. Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to round number 5 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. The racing is in the books, but we still have podium celebrations to handle. We're going to be talking to each and every one of our podium finishers in all of our classes. And we're going to be starting things off with our Andrews Products Bagger GP class, the battle that you just watched. And going to be talking to our top 3. Tony Tucker going to be getting the scoop from all of our riders. I say it all the time. There's so many things that riders are dealing with, whether it's with their bodies, whether it's with the machines, mentality, so many different variables that they have to face throughout the course of a race and a race weekend. There's only one place to find out right from the horse's mouth, and that is down on the podium. So exciting stuff going to be coming up. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for all of those podiums as we're going to get the stage set. Make sure we've got all of our bikes up there, got our riders ready, and then we'll be getting the word. There it is. Rocket Rob and Tony getting everybody set up. And We'll be starting things off here in just a minute. Tony, I see you down there. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. We'll make sure get down there to you. Got the bike set up. The big number 13 ready to rock. And sounds like we might have Tony Tucker down there getting ready. A big hug. The celebrations have started. Tony, down to you.
First off, let's put our hands together. A huge round of applause for our Bagger GP show. It's put on a showcase here. Sam, congratulations on your third place finish. Great battle. I talked to the team. You said you were looking for speed. It looks like you guys found it. Walk us through your race.
Yes, the guys had worked a lot on the bike, and it was pretty dialed for the race. So we started off pretty strong. I was in second place, and then the turbo guy went whistling past me. So I was like, okay, I'll try just to follow. And yeah, it ended up a really good race. So thanks a lot to Harley Davidson, Primo, Original Garage Moto, Silver Wax, Bridgestone Tires, Larry from DP Brakes, everyone, all the fans that are here. It's awesome to race in Willow Springs.
Thanks, Sam. Everybody put your hands together for our third signature. You got your trophy right here, Sam.
So great to hear there from Sam Guerin, having a nice little breakdown of the race. Like we said, having a good time. Always got a smile on the face as well. We're going to get things set back up. Get ready to send it back down for the rest of our Bagger GP class. Here from Willow Springs, round number 5. Once again, guys, make sure that you're planning on tuning in for the season finale tomorrow afternoon.
Second place finisher. That was an exciting battle. You got off to a good start there. You were, right in the mix there going into turn 1. But walk us through your race and what you were going through out there.
Yeah, of course. It was a good start. Actually, I got a good start for a chance. But all in all, it was a good race. I seen Corey getting away, and I kind of knew I didn't have his pace today. So I'm just getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day, and this bike's pretty much new to us. This is we're starting from scratch again. So big hats off to the whole team. This turbo powered machine is just unbelievable, and the stuff that this crew's done in the last 4 years has been unbelievable. So hats off to them. They earn it more than I do. I just ride the thing. So but yeah, we're looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to be chasing that 13 tomorrow.
I think, it's a new bike to you. You've been off the bike all year. But what we all want to know is, do you have anything for Corey tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll wait and find out. He knows I do, so I just got to do it.
Right on. Put your hands together for Shane Narbonne, our second place finisher.
So insane Shane grabbing second place here in our Bagger GP class. And look at that. A nice little hug there between Tony and our winner, Corey West. Tony, back down to you.
All right. Put your hands together. Corey West coming back to the BRL with a statement ride. Corey, you got out there. You're mixing it up into turn 1 with Ruben. Didn't look like you wanted to give it up, but you got out front and marched away. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, I didn't get the greatest of starts, but I just kind of wanted to feel things out in that first lap. And, yeah, Ruben got a killer start and was riding pretty aggressive, but I just wanted to get to the lead of that race and I knew what pace I could run, so I just wanted to go. And, yeah, Saddleman Race Development, they decided to come out here and run this race with the BRL at Willow, and I'm stoked to get another race under our belts this season. And feels really good to bring home a win in the bagger race. It's my first win on a bagger, so pretty stoked on it. And it's just awesome to see all these people here in the V-twin industry, and happy to bring home the W.
Right on. Everybody put your hands together for Corey West, coming back to the BRL and stepping up onto the top step of the podium. Thank you, Corey.
What a way to make a return to racing here at Bagger Racing League. And like I said, there it is, a perfect example of the camaraderie between these guys. Your Bagger GP podium. Everybody smiling, the crowd going wild. That is what it's all about there for our Andrews Products Bagger GP, the top level of competition. And they're going to get the shots, get the Insta bangers, as the kids like to say. Make sure the social media is looking good. And then we'll get ready to re-rack and move on to our next group of podiums with the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class coming up after this. So we're going to do some shuffling around, get those bikes changed over, and then we'll get ready for our Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger podium here from Willow Springs. There you see, beautiful overlook of the entire facility and racetrack. Like we said, Willow Springs, a historic location for the Bagger Racing League. So many, legendary, is there no other way to put it, legendary racers and forms of racing have done battle right here on this course. And the Bagger Racing League is honored and excited to be able to put their names on that list as well. And they certainly put on a good show for all of the fans watching, not only live in person, but live on Racer TV as well. Going to be running through all of our classes. So like we said, the top three, we do that Bagger GP class first, right after they get off the track, and then we'll start to drop back down through the rest of our classes, starting with the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class coming up next. And make sure we give all the riders their time. Like we said, it's a huge commitment, and we appreciate the sacrifice and the effort that goes into getting to the races, getting those machines put together, and coming out and joining us. We enjoy putting the races on as much as we hope you guys enjoy being a part of the racing and watching the races as well. So always want to make sure that the riders get their time on the mic. And we got some pretty funny racers, too. I'll just say it. They say some funny stuff on the microphones. They bust some jokes from time to time. And it just goes to show kind of the family atmosphere that's at Bagger Racing League. I mean, everybody from fans to racers to staff members. I think it's a great location or a great environment to be around. And so before we get to the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger podium, let's give you a little race replay, show you exactly how things went down so you know who we're going to be talking to. There it was on the line. And they got off and rolling. And Cody Gilmore, doing Cody Gilmore things, gets to the front of the field and pretty much started to what we thought was going to be a runaway. Now, I will say the 199 machine said, hang on, I'm keeping it this close. This is not over quite yet. There you see, look at that. Arnie Wells and Clay Braun, they were in a whole battle of their own for that final podium spot. A couple of back and forth passes between them. That was an entirely fun one to watch. There you see Gilmore making his way through, really not too far ahead of that battle for third. Another little look over the shoulder for Braun as Arnie Wells tries to take the long way around. He puts the horsepower down, and he makes the pass stick for the third place position. And eventually Braun would say, you know what, Arnie, it's my first race back. Youngblood's going to let you have it on this one, but best believe I'm coming out swinging for next year. An impressive performance for Clay Braun in his debut ride here this year after coming back from injury. Arnie Wells, I got to give some credit to as well. We heard from an early interview, says didn't feel like he rode very well in qualifying. I think a podium finish here today he ought to be pretty satisfied with. And there you see the 199 continuing to chase down Cody Gilmore. And like we said, we thought, okay, it's going to be a runaway. Cody Gilmore got out front. He's going to check out. No, my friends, that is not what happened here today. Look at this battle coming down to the line. The final corner. Who's going to have it? Wide open. It's a drag race. A last-ditch effort to find a way around less than a bike length, separating first and second place. But it will be Cody Gilmore taking the win out of your Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. And we're getting ready to send it down to Tony Tucker and celebrate with your Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger podium.
All right, back down here in winner's circle. This is our Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class, top three. Arnie Wells coming home in third place. Arnie, it was a good battle out there with the boys. Walk us through what was going on out there on track.
So the first start, I got a really good start, and then we had to restart because of a wreck, and then my second one was garbage. Me and Clay battled out pretty good, and yeah, then I just tried to catch up to those guys, but they're too far gone. So
I know yesterday you were kind of upset with your lap times. It seems like you found some more speed today. What was the difference today?
I think the weather and just felt better. I knew I had to push it.
Right on. You got any sponsors you need to thank today?
Yeah, Suburban Motor, Harley Davidson, the whole pit crew with them, everybody that makes it possible. Jolly Good Soda, Sly Fox Performance, Legend suspension, alloy art, Slide Fox, performance machine, Bridgestone tires.
You guys are going to have to put a tour pack on this thing so you have more room for sponsors. Everybody put your hands together. Arnie Wells, number 69.
And there you see Arnie, not only a favorite as far as the racers go, but a fan favorite as well. Everybody roaring with applause for Arnie Wells. And we'll get ready to send it back down to Tony Tucker, standing by with second place.
All right, back down here, we got our second place finisher, Daniel Spina. Danny, good battle. I was watching your lap times yesterday and today. You had some impressive lap times. I really wanted to see you kind of upset Cody's undefeated season here. But great battle, but walk us through your race.
You know, so being out on the track with Cody, just following him, the speed, just his line selection, everything. It was really amazing to be able to be behind him and see how he maneuvered. Sorry, guys, I'm hearing this. Anyways, so just watching him make it through all the turns, everything, like he held his composure, his speed, everything. Really incredible rider.
What kind of sponsors do you need to thank out here today?
I'd like to thank Black Widow Carbon Fiber. I'd like to thank Fueling Parts and Motul Oil, as well as Ultra Cool Oil Coolers. Massive shout out to my family that supports me. You know, I'm kind of a one-man show, and they show up every time, and they're there for me. They support me, and they're my number one supporters.
Right on, Danny. It's a great ride. Hats off. We love seeing you out here joining us for rounds 5 and 6 at the BRL. Everybody put your hands together for Daniel Spinard, second place finisher.
Love to see it, and like we said, a huge props to not only. I don't think Danny gave himself enough credit. That was an incredible ride. He kept Cody honest and came down to the wire, and so. But nonetheless, it's cool to see him pay homage to his competition. But there's one guy that can stand on the top step of the podium, and Tony Tucker standing with him. It's Cody Gilmore.
Cody. We thought we were going to see a little tighter battle, but you held it under control and brought it home. But walk us through what you were going through out there.
It was a fun race out here. I've been to this track one time before last year, and I was a little bit scared of it. So coming in this season, I was a little nervous yesterday, but I had a lot of fun out there, and it ended up going a lot better than I thought it was going to. So, man, I just had a blast out there, and it's always awesome racing with the teammate Arnie and having Danny up here. This is the first time getting to race with him, the California boys, and man, he gave me the run for my money. So that was pretty awesome. And to see some new competition in the BRL Racing League, I hope they make it back out next year and race with us. So, man, gave me my hands full, and tomorrow we'll have to step it up a little bit if I want to get the W again. So I just want to give a huge thanks to all of our sponsors. Bridgestone had me hooking up even in this cold weather. So Bridgestone, Suburban, Sly Fox, man, I have to think about Ride Therapy. My boy Frankie's out here, and Drag Specialties, Legend Suspension, man, LS2, just all of our sponsors for helping out. And I'm looking forward to getting back out here next year as well as tomorrow.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together for Cody Gilmore, our first place finisher, and our podium in our Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class.
So the streak continues. Cody Gilmore, untouchable so far here in 2024. And they've got one more opportunity to try to knock him off the top step. But for today, he's the king of the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. That was an exciting one. Like we said, coming down to the wire, definitely the closest finish of the day. So they're going to get some photos for all the media and the fans, and then we're going to re-rack them and get ready for our Barnett Cables and Clutches Super Street Bagger class coming up next. We'll talk to those top 3 riders, hear what they think about the track. They were a part of the same race as that Pro Stock class, so multiple classes out on the same time. You never know. It can provide some different opportunities, maybe some different obstacles as well when you're in a combined class. So curious to see what some of those Super Street riders have to say as we're getting things shuffled around. I always think it's cool. One of the things that Bagger Racing League does, they bring the bikes up as well as the riders. Gives an opportunity for the machines to be shown off, the sponsors that are all involved with putting them together. And you heard from all three of those riders. It truly does take a village. Nobody's out there Ricky Bobby style with just me on it. All right. It's even the one-man show has help from other manufacturers or other companies and people that assist to get them to the races. So it's a team effort. I love to see the crowd that we've got on hand here this weekend for the BRL finale, as everybody enjoying it, even with the cold weather. I know it's a little chilly out there. The wind doesn't make things any better, but just goes to show race fans love racing no matter the conditions, and we're excited to have them hanging out with us this weekend. We hope to see them all back tomorrow, and we want to see you guys back tomorrow as well. Like I said, make sure you're setting those clocks, setting the alarms, the calendars, the reminders. I don't know, whatever you do to make sure you don't miss it at noon Western time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. We will be live on Racer TV for the season finale of the Bagger Racing League. Kind of crazy to think about it. I feel like just you blink and next thing you know, you're at the season finale. Seems like the season has flown by, but when you really break it down, we've had a lot of laps, a lot of racers, a lot of battles, and it has been an incredible season of racing here for the BRL, as we're starting to get that Super Street Bagger class set up. Of course, Barnett Clutches and Cables, the title sponsor for that class. We can give them a huge shout out. All of our sponsors, we want to give them a huge shout out right now as we're getting the final touches, making sure everybody's backed in straight. Bikes are looking good. Then we'll get ready to get a word with your top three. These guys put on quite the show as well. Like we said, out there at the same time as the Pro Stock Bagger class. But, man, they've got a battle going on for that championship fight. And close racing for your top three here in that Barnett Cables and Clutches Super Street Bagger class. And looks like we've just about got the bikes set up. Riders should be hanging right around as well, which means it's just about time to send things down to our guy, Tony Tucker, down at the podium. Tony getting snagged by, I believe that was Rocket Rob. All right. Back down to you, Tony.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, we have our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class down here. Carl Schlock coming home on third. It's been a joy to watch you. Walk us through your race and how that thing went.
Yeah, it was a good race. I got this jump on Jake and Sean. I was up front for a little bit, but yeah, Jake scooted right around me, and Sean and I had a little battle, but just hung out there in third. We had a little front end issue going on, so it killed the confidence, but yeah, it was awesome.
I know you have a ton of support on this motorcycle. I know you got a bunch of sponsors. Give them some love.
Yeah, I mean, first I want to thank the Lord for keeping me safe out there. Say hi to my family back home. And Mark and Beth from HHI, Hog Halters Incorporated, they're here. Suburban for getting me out here. FDR for taking care of me in the hospitality in the pits here. Sly Fox, Motozilli Power Sports. Luke at Fueling, Robbie Lane, Alloy Art. Palm Pouch, True Blue, Custom Culture. Everybody else, Ultra Cool, Bridgestone, keeping me stuck to the ground, and everybody here at the BRL. I mean, I love racing the BRL, and it's a great series, great people. All my friends are here. We're having a blast, so just thankful to be here.
Right on. Thank you, Carl. Congratulations on your third-place finisher. Got Mike Smith with your trophy here.
All right, going to get a little bit of hardware there. Carl doing a great job rounding out the podium for us. Tony going to make his way over to the far side, catch up with our second-place rider. Tony, take it away.
All right, we're here with Sean Hoffman. Sean, it sounded like you were kind of giving it to Carl a little bit there. Walk us through your race.
Got a pretty good start on the first race, and was able to pass Carl, get ahead of him, and pull a gap, and then the red flag, Carl got a big jump on us. It took me a while to work through it, but was able to pass him down the front straightaway, and the rest was history from there.
That red flag, did that upset kind of your mindset or your confidence or anything? How did that affect your race?
It didn't really affect it much. I just hope Joey Beavers is okay and doing well. Was able to just relax and get back into the mindset. And
right on. Give your team some love.
I got to thank Suburban Motors for getting me out here and letting me do this. DP brakes. Larry painted the bike for you and put her up on a podium. Mom and Dad, everyone. There's so many people. Barnett for putting it on.
Right on, Sean. Congratulations on a second-place finish. Put your hands together for Sean Hoffman and our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street second-place finisher. Mike Smith, we got a second-place trophy here for you.
All right, got the hardware there. A huge congratulations to the number 27. And back in the center of the box once again, it's going to be the number 51, Jake Masters, standing by with Tony Tucker.
Jake Masters, just cool, calm, collected like you do. And it shows on the racetrack. I mean, you're undefeated on the season and still holding that title. But walk us through your race and what you were doing out there.
It was a fun race. Unfortunately, then the first jump, it got red flagged. So hopefully the guy that went down's all good. But otherwise, the next start, it wasn't as good for me. So I had to work my way through the pack. But it was good. We had a good race. It's fun out there. It's fast. So, yeah, thanks to the boys for putting on a good race. Thanks to Joe from Suburban Performance Machine for putting this bike together. I had so much fun. And, yeah, look forward to tomorrow.
Right on. Thanks, Jake. Everybody put your hands together for your top 3 finishers here in our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class.
All right, Jake, once again, keeping that undefeated streak alive. I believe it's now just Cody Gilmore and Jake Masters sitting on an undefeated streak for the season. So we'll see whether or not that's going to reign true by the end of the day tomorrow. But there it is, all 3 of them up on the podium. The trophy's up high. The crowd goes wild. And that's what it's all about. Our Barnett Cables and Clutches Super Street Bagger Podium here from round number 5. Wait a second now, Jake. We don't need to see all that. He's celebrating with us. He's enjoying it. Well-deserved. And we're going to get ready to re-rack the podium. When we come back, we'll be talking to our Sidecar podium, which I'm super excited about. Like we said, the first time Sidecar Racing joining the Bagger Racing League. They put on quite the show for us as well. And our very own Larry Coleman going to be jumping down and talking with them. We'll give you guys a little bit of an idea as far as what went down in that sidecar, just to kind of give you a reminder. We'll take a look at the race replay here. Bernard Jukel, and Kevin Kowski really putting on an impressive performance. Didn't quite get the jump that they were looking for as we take a look at our Alpine Stars rapid replay. And one of the big things that Larry was saying, kind of our sidecar expert here for the weekend, is that teamwork makes the dream work. No one person is more important than the other, whether it's pilot or passenger.
Next up, we'll have the sidecars.
And these riders going to be making their way around. This is the pass for the lead as Bernard Jukel and Kevin Kowski make their way around and moving like one solid organism there, just absolutely making the pass stick and pretty much able to ride away with it. Had a little bit of company for just a minute, but now they get back around, and that was pretty much all they wrote. So an impressive performance, a ton of detail and intricate little things that make sidecar racing unique, and I can't wait to hear from the entire crew. I'm interested to see whether we get both. We'd have to have both members from each team up on the podium. I would think they got to celebrate together. If they can get the win together, then they better celebrate the win together as well. So it's going to be fun to hear from them, see what they think not only about being out here at Willow Springs, but what they think about bringing sidecar racing to the Bagger Racing League. Let's get ready to send it down to the podium where our very own Larry Coleman is standing by with third place.
Next, we have the podium for the Barnett Clutches and Cables sidecar class. Somewhat new to BRL. These guys have raced Willow Springs consistently for some time. We've got Steve Stull finished in third place. Michael McGovern's finished in second and third place.
Hello, everybody. Anything else to be said? I'm so excited to be out here. Willow Springs is the first track that I've ever raced at. It was the first place, and Steve Stoll is the man that brought me out, and we've been conditioning, and this is the fastest I've gone ever.
Woo-hoo. All right, Steve, you've been on the podium here in Willow Springs quite a bit, but this is all new with BRL. Welcome to BRL.
Thank you. Well, we had a good run from the back of the pack and made it up to third. Happy with today.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Our third place finisher, Steve Stoll, Michael McGovern. And
So
we've
Steven-
got the trophy someplace. Second place. Nope, there they are. Third place. Second place, Frank Riolo, Wendell Aguilar. Congratulations. Frank, it's been 13 years, I believe, since you were out here at Willow Springs. Welcome to BRL and welcome back to Willow Springs.
Great. Hey, thanks, Larry. Hey, I just want to thank my sponsors real quick. Barnett Tools and Cables and Clutches and SF Racing.
Thanks, Wendell. You're an old pro here. Welcome to BRL and Sidecar Racing here at Willow Springs, because you've been racing at Willow Springs before.
That's correct, Larry. I'm beyond honored and blessed to be surrounded by mentors, highly skilled individuals that work on these. So if you guys are interested, just come and ask us, get involved, participate.
We love to talk sidecars. So, Frank, Wendell, congratulations on second place. And there you go. This young lady has some trophies for you. First place. I get so tired of talking to these guys about first place. Bernard Ugly, Kevin Kowski. Bernard and Kevin. Bernard, you had a great run today. You had a good race there, first couple laps. Tell us about it.
We were racing with Kelly Bell, and we're doing really good, and he was doing good until he dropped out. That kind of ruined it.
Kevin, you had a good run today?
Oh, fantastic. You know, Bernard and I have been doing this this is our 14th year as a team, and we know each other very well, and the race was great. We were so in sync, and it's so important to be on the same level, you know.
Right. A great example, teamwork. Sidecar racing is all about teamwork. Bernard, how about sponsors?
Well, we got Jay Leno, of course, is our major one, and then we have our eye helmets. Barnett clutches, that's probably a great clutch for us, which I've used regularly. But yeah, so we have some great sponsors there.
Bernard Ugly, Kevin Kowski, congratulations on being on the top of the podium, first place.
Thank you.
And thank you to Barnett Clutches and Cables for sponsoring this class.
Thank you. All right.
So there it is. The Barnett Clutches and Cables Sidecar Class Podium, the first here in the history of Bagger Racing League. And, man, love to hear how excited those guys are to be able to be a part of this. Love to see the up-close and personal view of these sidecars, too, man. Those things are just super impressive. I hope that we see more of them and can't wait to see more of the racing that they provide here at BRL. Definitely fun to watch for me. I believe that was my first time. I know it was my first time announcing a sidecar race, but even watching that, just Tony and I felt like we were just question after question. Larry doing a great job of kind of giving us the insight as to the world of sidecar racing and really getting a great look here on the camera shots. Oh, yeah, there it is. Pumped up, fired up, ready to do battle again tomorrow, and glad to be here at the Bagger Racing League as we move on from our sidecar class to head into our next podium. Should be our DP Brakes Liquid Cooled Twins class coming up next. So we'll get the DP Brakes Liquid Cooled Twins moved around, get the bike set up, get the riders down there, and we will get ready to talk to our top three. And I want to give a huge shout out to my man Larry Mills there from DP Brakes. DP, obviously a huge sponsor of the Bagger Racing League as well. We talk a lot about going fast, but if you go fast, you got to be able to stop as well. And DP helping to allow us to do just that as we take a look at your Alpine Stars Rapid Replay here for the DP Brakes Liquid Cooled Twins class. And if you remember, this race also had the Air Cooled Twins here as well on the same track at the same time. But right now, the 13 of Corey West, man, he made it happen. I'll just say it. This, I think, was one of his most impressive rides of the day. And we'll see whether or not it lasts as the most impressive ride of the weekend. But, man, hard to argue with that. Almost immediately opened up quite the gap. And you know the guy's got to be feeling good when he's lifting the front end up in the corners. The number 11, got to give a huge shout-out to Vincent Wilson. I believe this is the first race on that machine in the first race here at Bagger Racing League. Kind of just hoping to get the feet wet a little bit, get some experience. How about some podium experience as well? So excited to hear what Vincent has to say about his experience here at Bagger Racing League. Maybe the confidence level gonna rise a little bit between today and tomorrow. See whether or not he thinks he's got what it takes to be able to show a wheel to the number 13. But today it was all the big 1-3 of Corey West taking the win in our DP Brakes liquid cooled class. So we're going to get the bikes set up here in front of the podium. The fans hanging out, wanting to hear from their favorite riders. There it is, the winning machine, the number 13. Going to get propped up, put up on the stand. And then Tony Tucker going to chat it up with our top three. Number 11 there of Wilson moving his way. And then, of course, the 108 as well of Gilbert Conde going to round out the top three. So we'll hear from all three of those riders. Had some good battles there between those three riders. West maybe got out front. I don't necessarily want to say he battled a ton, but the number 11 and the 108, they definitely put in some work and fought for those positions. So just about ready to get going here. Bikes getting propped up on the stands. Riders hanging out down there. Yeah, make sure that thing's on there good. We don't need any bikes falling over. Those things are too pretty. Getting up close and personal with the 108. Making sure that thing looks good. And it looks like they are ready to rock as we send things down to our man, Tony Tucker, at the podium.
All right, thanks, Zach. Yeah, we are down here with our podium finishers in our DP Brakes Liquid Twins class here. Our third-place finisher, Gilbert Conde. Gilbert, congratulations. It was a hard-fought battle, but walk us through your race.
Came out, and, these guys, they just walked me from the start, and I was hoping to find a good line and just follow them, but it was all right. So held off who was behind me and just had a great time. The bike worked good. Had a great time. Nothing else to say.
Right. Yeah. And, hats off to you coming out here and just kind of putting your head down and going out and trying to find speed. Do you have any sponsors you need to thank today?
No, my friends and family, they're my support team, and that's it. It's all out of pocket, just having fun. That's all. I don't know anybody, anything, so.
Right on. We'll put your hands together for a true grassroots racer, just doing it on his own out here for the love of the game. Gilbert Conde, our third-place finisher.
Gilbert enjoying himself, having a good time, and deservingly so after a performance like that. Get up on that podium, man. Start celebrating as we head over to the far side. Let's chat it up with the number 11. Got to be stoked after a performance like that. Tony, down to you.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Vincent, coming home in second place. This is the first time out on this bike. Walk us through the feeling of this bike, and what you were going through out there on the track.
The bike handles way better than I expected. It handles like a big super sport bike, or very familiar to my twins bike up in Canada. And, I'm pretty happy with the way the weekend's going. The team's working really hard. And, I want to thank the crew for helping us out. I want to thank the Shark Law motorcycle attorneys. I want to thank Galfer, and I want to thank Bridgestone USA. And, hopefully we can do everything tomorrow and try and win tomorrow.
Right on, and I know we can't forget to thank our boys at Alloy Art. These guys are good friends of mine. They're hard workers. I'm glad to see you guys up on the podium here.
Yeah, no, hopefully this isn't the last time up here, and, hopefully I can come back next season on a full season and just be faster.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together for Vincent Wilson, the Alloy Art Pan America.
Vincent already looking forward to next year. Says, hey, I'm ready to come back and do battle so I can try to grab a win. But, man, a podium performance in your first race like that, that's pretty impressive. But there's only one that can stand in the top step of the podium, and Tony Tucker is standing down with him.
All right, Corey West, kind of just picking up right where you left off in the other series there with a win. Congratulations. But, what were you feeling out there, and was this any different than the other series you're running?
Yeah, I was just feeling really good. It was awesome to come out here and ride our championship-winning Super Hooligan. Harley-Davidson Pan America worked awesome. You know, Saddlemen Race Development has just built an absolute weapon out of what is an adventure bike to start. So, yeah, we had a couple new things to try this weekend that we didn't get to run this year. So, yeah, it was a good track time to just get some practice and test a few things. But I feel really good. It was awesome to have the fastest lap of the day on this thing. We went a minute 25.3 on this Pan America, so that was ripping around here. But yeah, big shout out to all the crew, the teams working hard. I know everyone wants to have an off season, but we'll get it after tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for everyone that came out this weekend, and all the fans that are here. And yeah, just happy to be turning laps on the racetrack.
Right on. Thanks, Corey, and congratulations on another first place finish. We got another trophy here from Larry. This is our DP Brakes Liquid Cooled Twins Podium finishers. Put your hands together, everybody.
So there it is, our Liquid Twins Podium. Fist bumps, high fives, and celebrations going around. He said, give me that trophy real quick, man. We got to grab a photo. There it is, podium celebrations going down. Everybody's pumped up, the fans, the friends, the family, and deservingly so after a race like that. So we're going to get things re-racked and get ready for our next class, our air-cooled twins coming up. Next, we'll move the bikes around and get ready to celebrate with our air-cooled twins podium. Like we were talking about earlier, the Bagger Racing League looking to be bigger and better next year as well. So make sure, if you guys haven't already, you're following Bagger Racing League on social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, any of the social medias. You get what I'm getting at. BRL or at Bagger Racing League. That's where you stay up to date on all things. Like we said, constantly kind of evolving and innovating new and improved ways for riders to have the opportunity to come racing with us, whether that's our metric classes that started this year, the sidecar class that started literally this weekend, or, of course, just those Bagger Unlimited classes. You guys have the opportunity to come hang out with us. Like we said, it's a great time. It's a great environment. We have a good time. I know it. All of the races that I've been able to make it out to, we've had live music, we've had concessions available. The pits is a super friendly environment as well. Everybody super eager to hang out with you and make sure that you have a good time. So without a doubt, not one that you want to miss. So we're going to try to get the bikes moved around and set up so we can talk to our air-cooled twins podium. And you can see that wind still blowing, not letting up at all, even after the checker flag finishes for the day. Expecting probably similar conditions for tomorrow as we get ready for the season finale. And then after that, just like I can't remember which rider it was that said it, he said, everybody wants an off season. We got one more race, and then you'll get your off season. So going to be fun for sure. Little deliberation there, making sure we got the right people in the right place. There we go. They're ready. They're in line. Headed this way. It looks like we'll have the 507 machine as well as the 718 headed this way. Jake McGuire, Joseph Gale. And we'll see the final member of the podium. This was another one of those classes that was on the track at the same time as an additional class. So want to make sure we're able to give these guys all the attention they deserve. And yes, as you can see, it's four-leg friendly here at BRL. You can bring dog. They're hanging out, having a good time. Keep them on the leash. I've been told they enjoy the racing as well. So it looks like it will be the 718 that walked away with the win. Jake McGuire. Looks like the 507 going to finish in the third place spot, I believe. There it is, the BRL, Bagger Racing League. We're here, and we're not going anywhere. I can't wait for I don't want to start looking to next year quite yet because we still have a full day of racing tomorrow. I want us to have some great battles. I really think we've set it up to have the potential for some of the tightest racing that we've had all season long at the season finale. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. So it's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to be here tuned in. Tony Tucker going to be standing by. Larry Coleman going to be jumping in the booth with us once again. And we're going to get ready to send things down to the podium with our man, Tony Tucker. Tony, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, everybody, put your hands together. This is our air-cooled twins class, our third-place finisher, Joseph Gale. Joseph, it was a great battle out there. This is one of my favorite classes, seeing these Softails and other air-cooled Harleys out here, battling it up on the racetrack. But walk us through, how you got out here and through your race.
Well, this is my first time out here to this track. It's not overly technical, but it's extremely fast. So really the thing is just to hold the throttle open as much as you can. The preparation was just watch some videos and get through, talk to the homies, get some notes, and really just push through and get through those fast sections as quickly as I can.
Yeah, this track is definitely challenging. We've been talking about it all day on the broadcast, and it's definitely different than a lot of racetracks. Are you feel like you're gelling well with the track?
Actually, yeah. I didn't get a whole lot of practice time in before. Got here late on Friday. We were red flag for I think that second session, so I got some time in for that third session on Friday. Did a little bit this morning. I mean, I probably turned 10 laps, 12 laps in total. But I mean, I improved from qualifying by 4.5 seconds over my qualifying time in the race, so I'm extremely happy with that.
Yeah, and hats off to you. I know you got some great support and help. Give some love to these guys.
Thank you, guys. Big shout out, Quaid Racing Team, RX2, CGM Insurance, FDR, the whole team, the whole crew's out. Thank you guys, everybody. You guys all made this happen.
Right on, put your hands together. Our third place finisher, Joseph Gale, in our air-cooled twins class.
So celebrations underway, big smiles, the trophy held up high, and that's what it's all about. And looks like Tony Tucker standing by with our second place finisher.
Right on, put your hands together. Our second place finisher, Brian Wamek. I don't know how you quite pulled off second place on this bike, but you must have some horsepower underneath him. Hats off. Walk us through your race.
I just really struggle with down the straightaway. I'm lacking power, so I'm just trying to make up every little inch I can along the curves and just, do the best I can. This is my second time out here, and it's a super fun track. I love it. I'm learning it more and more each time out there. And, I got my pit crew here with me. She couldn't figure out how to get the bike down here, so here we are. But I'll try to figure that out tomorrow. But, hey, had a great time, so much support. I didn't have a generator for my tire warmers. I just went around, asked somebody, one of the race teams, was just so generous. All the camaraderie here, the brotherhood, I just love it. Really generous people. Thanks to Law Tigers for all the help they've given me this year. Law Tigers NorCal helped me out a lot. And I really appreciate it. Sierra Steel, Harley Davidson, Race Tech Suspension, everybody. Even Tompkins Tree Service and Tractor Service helped me out quite a bit. And, it's been a struggle. It's been a rough few years. And everybody that's spending their hard-earned money to come out here and support this, thank you. Thank you, Bagger Racing League, for putting this on.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together. Brian Wamek, our second place finisher. Thanks, Brian. Congratulations.
And last but certainly not least, as he grabs the podium, going to invite look at that, even the puppy gets to come up on the podium. I love to see it. But we still got one more rider to celebrate, and it is the winner, standing by with Tony Tucker.
Yeah, we're standing here with Jake McGuire, top step of the podium. Jake, congratulations. Walk us through the battle out there and what you were seeing on track.
Didn't really have the best start. This track's been a little bit difficult for me to learn, but seemed like it all came together there. Whoever was in second, they went down. I hate it for him, but he probably had my number. I just had a little bit of luck on my side.
I know you got some good support behind you. Who do you need to thank today?
Harley-Davidson Bowling Green, Grim Reapers MC, Galfer, Fast Line Track Days, and RC Components.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together for Jake McGuire and your top 3 in our air-cooled twins class.
So there it is, the air-cooled twins getting wrapped up. Going to grab a couple of pics for the gram, for the podium. Then we'll get ready for the next of our podium groups coming up. And looks like coming up after our air-cooled twins, that is going to be our lightweight superbike class. So we'll have our lightweight Superbike, followed by our next-gen Superbike. And then we'll have that Zippers Performance Products American Twins Unlimited, the ATU class. And then last but certainly not least, we'll round out our podium celebrations with the Classic Superbike. So everybody hanging out here at the podium. Fans still checking everything out. And believe that we will get a replay here. Yes, look at that, right on cue. The Alpine Stars rapid replay. Now our lightweight, our next gen, and our ATU were all out there at the same time. So we've got a multitude of classes here in this replay. But up towards the front, we will be focusing on that lightweight superbike classes. Those riders kind of led the field around. Frank Sinderman, I believe, grabbed the early race lead. And there you see the 108 in a battle. Gilbert Conti trying to find a way around, and he did get around the 74 of Sinderman. And I believe there you saw it. So the 108 makes the pass. Sinderman taking a little breather there, lost just a little bit of room on that corner. And up at the front of the field, Wilson. Make their way through back down the field. This was this class saw a little bit of separation relatively early, and it just seemed like none of the riders were really able to close it up too much. There you saw, this was probably the most exciting of the whole race, where around the outside, thought maybe there was going to be a chance at the pass. And then take a look at this from our live drone. Hang on to it. Keep that thing on the course. Man, that one could have been crazy for Jamie Hansen on the 911 machine. Or excuse me, I believe Jamie was in that battle, but I actually believe that it was Connie who went off the track. Never cracked the throttle and kept it wide open, as did the number 11, taking the win. And looks like we've got the bike set up, so we'll send things down to Tony Tucker.
Yeah, back down here in Winner's Circle, this is our lightweight superbike class, and I must say this is the craziest looking superbike I've ever seen, Arnie. Our leader, Rob Bidos, threw out a metric bagger class to the people, and you were the only one that accepted the call. So we had to put you somewhere. We put you in superbike, and you bring home third place on this beautiful Goldwing. Tell us how this thing feels out on the track.
It's super sketchy, so I definitely need to work some things out if we keep going with it, but it was fun.
Is it even, I don't know, man, how does it compare to your bagger, man? I mean,
this thing, like everybody says, like the baggers move a lot, but this moves like 10 times worse. It's insane, but
you're not helping building the confidence of additional racers coming out and racing you. But, hats off. Put your hands together, Arnie Wells, on this beautiful Goldwing in our lightweight superbike class. Thanks, Arnie.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
So Arnie Wells finds himself back on the podium. The man is not scared to go fast, no matter what the machine is, as we head back down to our man, Tony Tucker, at the podium.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I'm here with our second-place finisher, Tom Nichols. Tom, walk us through your race and what you're seeing out there.
Well, I got a good launch off the line. but I was like last going into turn one. I got 32 horsepower here, you know. But it was fun. I finally caught up with one of the Harleys, and we had a good race going back and forth. I think we passed each other every lap of that race. It was a blast. So.
Yeah, it's a really great battle to watch on screen, but do you have any support sponsors you need to thank today?
I'd like to thank Mike Norman at G-Force Engineering. He's been keeping this going, and a couple of vintage Superbikes that I got a 550 and a 1000, but they couldn't be here this weekend.
Well, thanks, Tom, and congratulations on a second-place finish. Put your hands together for Tom Nichols, our second-place finisher in lightweight Superbike.
Tom hopping up on the podium celebrating, and Tony standing by with your winner.
Yeah, we're here with our first-place finisher, Frank Sinderman. Frank, this is a beautiful machine, very trackable, it looks like. Tell us how it is to run this bike and what you were seeing out there on track.
It's super light and super nimble. The faster you ride it, the better it gets. It's a KTM 1 out of 100, built in 22. And I picked it up in Miami from Palmetto Motorsports and drove it out here and started racing it.
How long you been racing this motorcycle?
2 years.
2 years. Well, you know, it's paying off here. You're on top of the box here in our lightweight Superbike class. Do you have any sponsors you need to thank here this weekend?
Wanted to thank Rory from Bridgestone for flipping my tires. Wanted to thank Pirelli for sponsoring me. And I'm just working, make the payment on this thing.
Very good. Everybody put your hands together for our first place finisher, Frank Sinderman. Put your hands together for all three podium finishers here in our lightweight Superbike class.
A huge congratulations to our entire top three as they find themselves up on the box. Take those photos. Big smiles on the faces, deservingly so. As we'll get ready for the next of our podium groups. Believe that is going to be the next-gen Superbikes. So we'll get those bikes moved around, get the next group of riders up, and hear about their day here at round 5 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Once again, I want to make sure you guys know we'll be back racing for the season finale tomorrow. So it's the final weekend, but the finale is tomorrow. And I think some of the best racing that we've had was today, which means we're going to lay it all out on the line for tomorrow. We're going to end the season with a bang and make sure that Backer Racing League puts on a show for all of you watching, not only there at Willow Springs, but watching live with us on Racer TV. We're glad to have all of you guys tuning in and glad to have BRL a part of the Racer TV family. All racing all the time, everything from the GNCC circuit to the Loretta Lynn's Amateur National to Bagger Racing League. We've got you covered on Racer TV. So like we said, next gen Superbike coming up next. Then we'll have our Zippers Performance Products ATU class, the American Twins Unlimited, and then our classic Superbike to round out the podium celebration. Tony Tucker trying to rile everybody up down there, get them in where they need to be. See Jamie Hansen making his way through the podium. Getting in their position here at the box. And taking a look at those machines, absolutely beautiful, and love to see these up close and personal shots like this of the motorcycles. Obviously, we get to see them going at a high rate of speed when we're watching them on the track, but a ton of detail and intricate little things that make each bike unique that you get an opportunity to look at here at the podium. And should be just about ready to start the podium celebrations. Tony, if you got everybody where you need, go ahead and jump in. And, I believe, and possibly. All right, so it sounds like we got Tony Tucker down at the podium.
Thanks, Zach. We got our top 2 finishers here in our next-gen Superbike. Second place finisher, Darren Govan. Darren, walk us through your race.
Well, it's a little windy out there, right? So I didn't get the greatest start, and there were a bunch of other racers down there. So I kind of tried to work my way into second there, just kind of follow them in, and had a little teething problems. But I got to give it up to my teams, G-Force Racing, and they all helped me out. So I really appreciate being here. They worked really hard to get me here, so I really appreciate it. And from the bottom of my heart, thanks to the BRL for inviting us out here. We really enjoy being out here. It's great.
Right on, and thank you, Darren, and thanks for being here, and congratulations on your second place finish.
And back to the center of the podium. Take it away, Tony.
Jamie, I feel like we're becoming best friends as many times as we're meeting up here on these podiums, man. All season long, we've seen you on the top step here. Thanks for coming out. I know it was a long drive for you, but walk us through your race and what you saw out there.
Well, it was a mixed class, so I wasn't sure who I was even racing against or whatever. And, I just went out there, and it was a lot of fun. And it pretty much was a race between me and the Buell guy. And he passed me. I got ahead of him and tried as hard as I could to not let him get back.
Right on. I know you got some really good sponsors. Who do you need to thank today?
Oh, shit. I better hold on.
You got the list. Don't forget that list, man. That's all right. That's a long list, Jamie.
Yep. LM2 Racing, Trackside Labs, DP Brakes, A Affordable Bail Bonds back in Brainerd, Minnesota, and Schultz Brothers Custom Remodeling, Hanson Roofing, Paul Bunyan Land, Pat Nash, Robin Jolene Gebhardt, my mom and dad, and everyone else helping me out back home, and my cousin Melissa, who flew in and came to watch me and hang out this weekend, and the BRL.
Right on. Thanks, Jamie. Put your hands together for Jamie Hansen and our top 2 finishers here in our next-gen Superbike class. Thank you, guys.
So a huge congratulations to that next-gen Superbike podium. Glad to see them all celebrating, having a good time as we get ready to move things over to our ATU class coming up next. Going to hear from our top 3 there. And once again, we want to give a huge shout out to all of our amazing sponsors that help make this happen. Without them, we could not go racing, not just for an entire series, but even for a single race. So I want to make sure that they all get the proper recognition that they deserve, and we couldn't do it without each and every one of them. There's not just one that makes it possible. We need each and every one of them. Everybody from Barnett Clutches and Cables to DP Brakes to Drag Specialties. So many people. It truly does take a village to be able to put this on. Not to mention the BRL staff itself that are just solely focused on allowing these riders the opportunity to go have fun racing the bikes that they love at locations that are awesome. And, I'm grateful to be a part of it. I know Tony is as well. Tony got a very cool position as far as to be a racer. And I did not say former racer. I still think we're going to get him back out there, and a commentator now as well. So we have a lot of fun. I feel like the entire crew does, from Rob Bitus on down. We enjoy being at these races. We enjoy seeing the fun that the riders have and being able to share that with them. So just about ready to rock here for our ATU class. And we'll send it down. Tony Tucker, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Wait for our camera guy here. There we go.
He was checking out the bike. It was looking good.
Yeah,
I
some
saw
good-looking
what he was
bikes
looking
down
at.
here. This is our American Twins Unlimited class. Brian, you jumped into second class. You went out there and got a second podium. What were you going through in this second race, and how was your endurance?
Pretty good. I've been training for this. I'm running a bike that's old enough to vote, and I feel like an underdog against these beautiful machines here, but you know what? It's all about the heart. So what I lack in a bike, I left it out there on the line, just gave it my all, and I had a great time out here, and I'm looking forward to doing it again tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be good. We're looking forward to tomorrow. We can't thank you enough for coming out and racing with us, Brian. Everybody put your hands together for our third place finisher, Brian Wamick, in our American Twins Unlimited class. Thanks.
Law Tigers NorCal.
Right on. Thank you, Brian.
So Brian pumped up, sharing the podium with his furry friend. I love to see it. Like I said, we all big family environment, man. We bring the kids, bring the dogs, enjoy your time out here at Bagger Racing League. Oh, yeah, Puppy's like, I don't know what you're holding, but you're happy about it, so I'm happy. Maybe I'll get an extra treat tonight. As now we move over to the 108, standing by with Tony Tucker and an even little furrier friend. Man, we got dogs left and right.
Yeah, this is just, like dog heaven down here. You couldn't be shown up by Brian. You had to bring an even cuter puppy down. Gilbert, no, it's good. Walk us through your race and what you were seeing out there in the ATU class.
All right, well, ATU class was fun. The Alliar bike, it took off. I was back of the grid. I was having problems. Couldn't shift. My belly pan was coming off. I heard a bunch of noise. I was like, just played it safe, had fun, just I was going back and back from the class prior, so I came in, topped off, went back out, and just had a good time. Went up turn 3, got some head shake. It was just crazy. It was fun, and I had a great time.
Right on. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out here tomorrow, but congratulations on a second-place finish in our ATU class. Gilbert Condi on the 108. Thanks, Gilbert.
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
And last but certainly not least, in the center of the box, one more time, down to Tony Tucker here at the podium.
Yeah, we are here with our first-place finisher in the ATU class, Vincent. Back-to-back races. Did that change anything for you in that second go-around?
Not really. The goal for that race was to just bring it home and keep it on 2 wheels and try and get as much stuff learned as we can get for tomorrow. And I feel like that's what I did. I got a really good start, and I feel like I went through the lap traffic really well, and I didn't cut anybody off. So, I felt like it was a really good race, and hopefully we can do the same thing tomorrow. And I would like to say a huge thank you to Shark Law, Galfer, Bridgestone USA, Alloy Arts, and the whole team behind me this weekend, putting the bike together and getting me out there.
Right on. Put your hands together for Vincent Wilson, our first-place finisher in the ATU class.
So our ATU getting wrapped up, which means we're going to have, I believe, just one podium left to go after this. Going to be fun to watch. Look at that. Shaking the hands, petting the puppies. That's what the podium's all about. Having a good time. Get that dog up there. Too cute not to be in the photos. I love to see it. That's what it's all about. Having a good time at the races. Friends, family, pets, their family. Who are we kidding? So a huge congrats to all of our podium finishers there. Once again, believe we've got just one more podium after this. And that's going to be our classic Superbikes as we take a look at our Alpine Star Rapid replay. One rider not quite getting the start that they were looking for. But up at the front of the field, Mark Miller aboard the number 10, putting experience to good use, got out to an early lead and was able to pretty much run away with it at the front of the field. A bit closer of a battle in the second place spot as Ed Hauser was holding on to second. I believe it was Darren Galvin who was trying to find a way around him in the third place spot. Galvin would eventually find a way around, and Hauser would just hang out for that final podium position. But guess what? Top 3 is still enough to be able to chat it up with us on the podium. Some great racing here. A lot of history out on the course as well. Of course, our man Larry Coleman chatting it up with us, giving us some great lessons as far as not only what we're looking at, but the history behind them. And like he said, he likes to talk sidecar racing, but he likes to talk, I believe, motorcycle history. And I'm a history buff myself. I love to hear about all of it, how these things got their start, the way things have changed throughout the years. And I think it's impressive to see what these older machines are still capable of doing, even against more modern bikes today. So an awesome class, a great turnout, and a great way to close out the podium celebrations with our classic Superbike class. We're getting them lined up. Going to get ready to prop them up on the stands. And then we'll start chatting with our top three here from the classic Superbike. Got them all cleaned up, looking good, feeling good. And now we're going to get ready to rock with our man Tony Tucker down on the podium, chatting with our classic Superbike finishers.
All right, thanks, Zach. We're down here with our last podium of the day, arguably maybe the coolest bikes here. Our third place finisher, Ed Hazer. Congratulations. It's a beautiful motorcycle. We loved watching you out on track. Walk us through your race.
Well, I got a pretty decent start, I thought, and then Mark, I knew was going to be the fast guy on the track here, so I was trying to stay, have him inside for a while. And actually, for 2 laps, it, kept him pretty close. And then at one point, I was going into Omega, or coming out of 3, and I heard Darren behind me, and I'm like, oh, he's right on my ass, so he came past me, stuck it on the inside, and I missed the shift, kind of got rattled, kind of had to regroup. And tried to, stay close to Darren, but he just was faster today.
It was a great battle. We watched it unfold on the TV screen and really enjoyed it. Do you have any sponsors or support that you need to thank today?
Well, the only one really is APE, who was right outside the compound here. That has, there's a lot of parts in that engine that are APE. So they've always stood by me. They, give me parts at a discount. So I really appreciate that.
Right on. Thanks, Ed, and congratulations on a third-place finish on our classic Superbike race. Thank you.
Love to see it there. Ed Hazer having a great time, able to give us a little bit of an in-depth look at his machine, chatted up with our man Larry. And, man, it's really cool, like I said, not only to see the performance, but the history behind it as well, as we send things back down to Tony Tucker standing by with second place.
All right, our second-place finisher, Darren. Great race. Walk us through that one.
Well, again, I really can't start very well, and Mark and Ed got some really good starts, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna punch in, go to work a little bit here, and I know Mark is really tough, and Ed is too, right? Ed's been around the block, so kind of worked my way in there, and I kind of snuck by him going into 4 there, and I thought he was on me the whole time. I'm like, oh my god! So I just was like going the whole time, and it was great. It was really fun. It was a really great race. So I'm glad.
Right on. Well, congratulations. Do you have any support or sponsors you need to thank today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Just Built out of Sandy, Oregon. He built me a great rocket ship. I can't thank him enough. It's been great. And then Behringer Brakes have been really, really fortunate, to run the brakes. Their products, they're wonderful. So thank you to them as well. Thank you, Philippe.
Right on. Congratulations, Darren, on a second-place finish.
So the 43 on the bike, the 90 on the suit, doing a great job. Galvin having a fantastic race, but it was all the big 1-0 of Mark Miller grabbing the win, and he is standing by with Tony Tucker.
Yeah, I'm here with Mark Miller. Mark, you've spun a lot of laps on motorcycles. You come out here and you make it look easy. You put on a clinic for these boys and just kind of walked away with the race win. But walk us through a little bit of what you were feeling out there.
Yeah, just basically getting a nice clean 7 laps in, not scratching the bike. The wind picked up, and we've got a million laps around here, but it can bite you if you get too cautious. So you don't want to go too slow or anything. But we just put our head down, dude. Put a couple pop the wheelies over there for the grandstands, and I just really enjoy riding this bike from Kerry Andrew at Hypercycle. He just built such a fantastic machine.
You got a lot of support and a lot of help. Who do you need to thank today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Bridgestone Tires, first and foremost, and Hypercycle and all the boys, Carrie and Willie, and my wife, Owana's out here, and George and Andre, and Alpine Stars for providing some product for me to keep me safe, and that's a lot of it.
Right on. Thanks, Mark, and congratulations on a first-place win. Everybody put your hands together for our podium finishers for our classic Superbike class. And from down here in Winner's Circle, we're going to send it up to Zach for the last time on the day. We'll see you all tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Tony. What a way to end the day of racing. A great final podium. And honestly, like I said, probably one of the best days of racing that we've had so far here in the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers season. But like we said, folks, it is not quite done yet. It might be the final weekend, but we still have a full day of racing once again tomorrow live here on Racer TV. You do not want to miss a single lap of the action. Everybody hanging out, breaking down here from the podium. Going to get ready to hang out tonight. Like we said, if you go over on baggerracingleague.com or you follow us on social media, if you're nearby to one of these events, it's worth coming out to. It's not just fun for a race. It's a fun time to be able to hang out and watch as well. The racing, the action, the fans, the families, it's all a part of what makes Bagger Racing League one of the top leagues in the entire country and arguably the entire world. We've got a whole another day of racing to close out the 2024 season. We'll not only be crowning winners, we'll be crowning some champions as well. I cannot wait to see it. Look at that. We got sidecar racing it'll be for the second time ever in BRL tomorrow. Jake Masters going to try to keep that undefeated streak alive, as will Cody Gilmore. And Ruben Zal's going to be looking for a little redemption after a subpar performance here today. From all of us here at Racer TV and AG Video, we want to thank you for watching. Of course, our executive producer, Carrie Jo Russell, our producer, OPAG, Adam Gordon, director, Don Hampton, our engineer in charge, Jordan McFadden, second engineer, and our audio expert, Jack Renner. My name's Zach Herron, Tony Tucker. I want to thank Larry Coleman for jumping up in the booth as well with us. Our camera operators, Leah Myers, Corey Chamberlain, Michelle Mija, Dom Pershini, Bob Hand, and of course our drone pilot, Gabe Scholl. Do not forget, we got the season finale tomorrow. I'll be there. I can't wait to see you. Bagger Racing League season finale tomorrow. Have a good night.